a bite, no place to lay his head. And if nobody takes him in, he'll soon be dead.
Hey everybody, it is Mystery Titans Theater. My name is Travis Voloshin, and oh boy, we got a good one here. 'Tis the season for some of our great show, and that means that your buddy and mine is here. Somebody who's helped put together that playlist tonight, Johnny Hedgepeth. Johnny, how are you?
I'm doing good. Happy holidays, everyone, and we got a present for you.
That's right, and with us as well, the Chief J historian, the Ken Burns of wrestling, the third brainbuster, Kelly T. Nelson. Kelly, how are you?
Doing great. Wouldn't be a Christmas without a little world class.
Yeah, and we are beyond thrilled to have with us a guy that I've gotten to know a little bit over the years, and an incredible wrestler, a guy who knows a ton about wrestling, and just a guy who's a huge get for us. Let's just say that. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Makabe. Daniel, how are you?
I am very well. Thank you for the kind words. You flatter me too much. But this is a long time coming. We've been meaning to do this for a while now, and
we appreciate it. And what better way to welcome you than with this?
God bless America.
Well, that's right. Well, I was going to say, before we get too far into things, a Canadian just won the first ever women's United States title. And I was asking Kelly before even Johnny and Dan got on here. Maybe Dan, you would know. Is she the first woman from British Columbia to hold a title from WWE?
Yeah, I have to think so.
I
don't know if they've ever signed.
And we would be talking about Chelsea Green.
Yeah, Chelsea Green.
Who was getting total babyface reactions by the end.
Yeah, and they had Piper gave her the macho on the shoulder thing afterwards. That was a nice touch.
Piper? He's alive?
Viper, pardon me. Piper Niven?
Piper Niven.
Okay. Okay.
I thought you were talking about Jesse Ventura and you're high. No, they're in Long Island, so of course, she's going to be getting a babyface reaction, given her husband, and the fact that the WWE crowds have been getting into her because her character work is above and beyond. And
from what I've seen, she looks like she's doing good.
So we all know that the old pervert didn't like the national anthem and went with America the Beautiful. Apparently Fritz hates the national anthem too, and he goes with some old Irving Berlin for Star Wars. What's with these wrestling promoters?
Nothing says Christmas like God bless America.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what are we watching here, guys? This is world class, obviously.
Christmas Star Wars 1985 Christmas night at Reunion Arena as usual. 14,000 in attendance, so not too bad. But the year before they sold out, so clearly a decline. So we're basically on the precipice of them falling off a cliff, basically. 1986 will not be kind for Fritz's promotion. Mm-hmm. Beginning right away in January. Well, Dan, we don't have the Destroyer tonight, but we have the Grapplers.
Yeah, we got a Northwest representative too. I mean, I don't know if he was originally from here, but he ended up homesteading in Portland forever. So
yeah, worked in Portland for a long time.
Percy Pringle.
Mm-hmm. Oh my!
There's the ball of charisma himself.
Maybe my least favorite member of the world class roster.
You're just saying of the entire world.
Well, it's close. Him or Donald Trump.
Haphazard says that Fritz also liked Glenn Goza. Was that the guy who sang at the beginning there?
It might have been Glenn Goza. Glenn Goza was their go-to singer for. He sang was it wrestling? RASSLIN. That's wrestling.
All right, you kids, sit down, please.
He also sang the Heaven Needed a Champion as the charity single. Yeah.
Oh well, there was a young lady who sang that.
At the Parade of Champions?
At the Parade of Champions.
Okay. But yeah, I think
but Moose says, yeah, he did sing.
Goza wrote it and did the 7-inch.
And got it. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
the tribute disc. Was there a tribute disc? Probably not.
Oh no, dude, they were dude, they were. What you don't see on most of the clips I've seen it is that was Heaven Needed the Champion, the song for the late great David Von Erich, available now at all of our merch tables at the
right, yeah. I wonder what. But do you think they approached like Billie Eilish or somebody to do a new version of that at the end of the Iron Claw? No dice. She didn't smell a hit.
That was my problem. Everyone had problems with the guy who played Ric Flair and other like dumb nerd inaccuracies. Mine was there was no Heaven Needed a Champion. As I sat there on Christmas Eve in the theater by myself with 6 people,
booing loudly, like Robert De Niro in Cape Fear.
As a great kabuki, and Brian Adias open the action here. Whoop.
So this is just a random tag match according to the card I have. No stakes. The card that I'm looking at, this is listed as the second to last match of the night. So I don't know. We're not going to get the whole card. There was 12 matches. And this is what, an hour and 45 minutes?
Yeah.
There's some interesting names on this card. Antonio Inoki and Tatsumi Fujinami are on this card, apparently.
Wow.
But I'm going to bet we don't see... Maybe we'll see Inoki's match. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think... Do you think Fritz was going to put the Inoki match on his television? I don't know.
And he defeated Steve Williams. Oh, spoiler, sorry. That would have been Dr. Death, I guess. I didn't know that he worked... Anyway.
Grappler getting toyed with.
And the grappler's caught in a sandwich over there.
A sandwich.
There's going to be some gems from Bill Mercer, of course, throughout tonight.
Oh, baby, that's what I want. I want to be the meat in an Iceman Adias sandwich.
Speaking of Merkel, my mistake calling. I wish he was Bill Merkel.
Bill Merkel?
Because that's J.D. Merkel is Moose's real name. He saw Iceman wrestle in person in '99. Where at, Moose? Yeah, like, man. Is he still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Iceman's still alive.
Oh, of course. I remember.
Yeah.
He tried to shake Johnny down for $50 for an appearance.
Yeah. Well, no. I reached out to him to be on, I think it was World Cast. And he was like, how much do you pay? And I'm like, and I answered back, nothing. And never heard that.
No dots. No, the dots started and then stopped.
Haphazard said he remembered Grappler randomly doing a job to Goldberg on Nitro.
Really?
Hey, Dan, of all the weird things I've been meaning to ask you ever since I saw you at Dean, where did you stay? Because Williamstown there's nothing there. It's a nowhere town.
We somehow stayed in an even more remote and further outside of Philadelphia hotel that my friend booked for us. So, there definitely was someone who overdosed and was taken away in the middle of the night at said hotel.
Oh my God!
Was it you?
No, it definitely wasn't me. But yeah, I was not in charge of accommodations, and in hindsight, I kind of wish that I was.
I bet.
Wow.
Was it in Jersey? Was it in Jersey or Philly?
No, it was in New Jersey, but it was like even closer to like Atlantic City. Like it was a ways outside. Yeah.
Oh wow! Well, shit, man. If I had known you guys were going to go that far to stay, you could have come and stayed at my place. My dad lives 45 minutes from there.
Yeah, we probably were a good 30 minutes further away from Philadelphia. Yeah.
Oh, geez, yeah. I was just back home visiting my folks in South Jersey, right by the shore, last week.
That was such a cool show, though, that Dean show. Top to bottom. Really fun to watch.
Dan McDonald, John Push. And of course, all the A-Bears and Broussards.
Fun to be there, especially on one gummy in that tiny little shed. It was a blast.
That's all you got was one gummy the whole time you were there? With all those? Oh, you're talking about you took a gummy. I thought that was
no.
you get from the ladies in Philadelphia.
I was given the gummies that night, my friend. You know, with all those big time wrestling stars.
Mm-hmm.
Gummies.
The man from Mobile, Alabama. Right
Yeah,
there.
it was like, as I'm sure Dan, can testify, man. It was like 75% of like, well, this is just a giant weird class reunion, isn't it? Just looking around in the crowd and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to like really socialize much until afterwards, but it was overwhelming to say the least. Just the amount of people that I've known, online over the last 20 years that finally meeting for the first time. I was literally the last person out the door. Like I was basically at my merch table for like a solid hour after the show was over. So
cool. I stuck around for a while until I was not talking to anyone, and I said, well, I don't want to look like a fucking zero here, so I'm out of here.
And you snubbed Marty Sleaze and Chad Campbell.
I didn't snub Marty Sleaze. I was outside during the break. I'm like, I think that's Marty, but his hair was flat, so I couldn't tell.
Oh, really?
And,
that's unusual for Marty.
And then you texted me, hey, Marty Sleaze is there. And after the show, I went to find him, and he'd already taken off. He snubbed me. I'm standing right next to him.
It was so funny watching it. Just all these people from different stages of my life in that crowd too. Yeah, like even though I was never really on DVD like you guys were, but then you see Elliot and Liza and Amira and Evan in the back, and then you saw Benzani on one side, and then Johnny on the other side, and then of course Marty. Yeah, it was really, it looked like such a cool show.
That's Percy Pringle putting in a
loud and clear.
2 cents worth. Well, 1986 is right upon us, and the first great Star Wars will be in.
Were they still selling out in '85 on Christmas Day?
No, I said at the beginning, only 14,000, so about 5K short of a. I know, but considering the year before they sold out.
No, I think I'm just comparing it to like nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, 14,000 was more than they drew for the famous Christmas night show where Hayes turned on Kerry Von Erich. So yeah, they were still. I mean, '85 was a peak year for wrestling in America, as we've discussed numerous times over the years. But like I said at the beginning, '86 was the beginning of the dark days. The real.
I remember I was watching at 16, and when we had that burst of being able to watch everything in New Jersey, even without cable, like I've talked about, eventually in '86 got cable. The first two things that me and Danzo were just like, yeah, we don't need to watch this anymore, were AWA and World Class.
Well, you missed some good stuff in AWA. Not a ton, but that's when I got to see AWA for the first time in '86.
And we still went to Pro Wrestling USA shows when that was a thing. But
Yeah.
the TV was not great.
Trying to figure out what's going on with that cowboy in the satin jacket in the front there. He has ulterior motives.
I don't see the toothless old dude in the blue jumpsuit or whatever it was. That was a
Is this
constant
network?
presence in a few years earlier.
It's the one day a year his family insists that he has to spend time with his family.
Is this network footage?
It
looks
must
really
be.
clear,
Or
yeah.
24/7. The old.
This is footage. No. Let's not fuck around with any copyrights. This is footage provided only by our friend at Classic Wrestling Stuff.
Awesome, yeah. Shout out to CWS.
On the point of the jaw by the great Kabuki, and Adias is down, and here comes the grappler.
What do we think for our curtain jerk here so far?
Diaz just, for me, brings everything
Yeah.
down.
Diaz, it's a Diaz. The grappler's
Pretty
awesome.
dry. Yeah,
the
yeah, I like
grappler's
the grappler,
awesome.
yeah.
Kabuki's awesome. Percy Pringle's awesome. But fucking Brian and Diaz just sucks the life out of everything.
And Brian Diaz gets a shot from the great Kabuki.
What's the name of that ref?
Oh, Rick Hazard.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, and Iceman's awesome too. Of course.
Diaz up and over as the grappler is in charge right now.
I always love how when you knew when World Class was totally in the shitter because they'd gotten to scraping the bottom of the barrel of Von Erich friends who can turn on them when it was a Diaz.
Yeah, that's about as bad as it gets. Al Madrill eventually turns on him too. Good old Al.
Madrill heel turn.
But yay, Madrill is an awesome heel as Dan, you mentioned Pacific Northwest. We've been getting into heel Al Madrill in Oregon with his what was this Piper's Pit called?
Fiesta Mexico.
Fiesta Corner?
No, Fiesta Garden.
Fiesta Garden or something.
Yeah.
Great.
Hilarious.
That's a couple of years later, like 88, 89, or
yeah.
80.
He's still there in 1992 when it's become what is it called? Not Pro Wrestling USA, Championship Wrestling USA or something. They rebrand and it looks like they're in, wherever they are. They have like 50 people in attendance, but good old Hal is still doing the Fiesta Garden in 1992 because I one of the channels I subscribe to on YouTube is just uploading every day tons of this super obscure Portland stuff from the early 90s, and I'm just amazed at like the roster is complete nobodies and Al Madrill.
Hey, I've yet to be disappointed in a Fiesta Garden segment.
How many have you seen in your lifetime?
Well, no, we've been watching on this show. And
I think we've seen a couple.
Everyone's been gold so
There's
far.
probably been there's as many Fiesta Gardens as there are Piper's Pit. Oh, Jesus.
Wait, I missed the finish. Moose is admiring the Garanimals polo on our referee there. We've mentioned Garanimals more than once on this show.
Yeah, that's the thing, Dan, on this show. We've been doing it now 4.5 years, and there are so many weird in-jokes that, I mean, like, only we get.
That's totally fair. I get how that goes.
And then they come and go. We get on kicks about shit. What? I'm on a current kick that we're going to see later tonight because there's not a lot of footage, but I'm all in on them.
We did watch a Dan Makabe wrestling match recently. Syrian Soft Paws at 3-2-1 battle.
Canadian tuxedo match.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Before he did the fur gimmick, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be the first and only. I'm not sure. I've never heard of another one.
Canadian tuxedo match?
Canadian tuxedo match, yeah.
I believe so.
That sounds like something Spencer at Love Pro Wrestling would really like.
I don't even remember who came up with it. I don't think I came up with the gimmick, but
all right, Kevin in the chat always want to tell you if I'm trying something new, and right now it's Wild Eye Brewing, which is just in North Vancouver here, and it's called Feel It in My Plums.
Oh, hey.
Spiced plums.
There we go.
Hey, I was wrong.
Yeah, we are, and this is now footage from Japan, obviously.
Oh yeah, because of the. Oh yeah, that's right. It is.
Yeah.
We recently had.
Wow, that was like Sting. Sting when he took off the mask to reveal that he was Sting underneath it.
That's awesome, and that's the masked demon, by the way, and he's
the double masked demon.
You can't click on his name, so I don't know who he was.
You have to double click on it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, and now the footage isn't as clean either. So, classic wrestling stuff, man. Cutting all this together for us. That's awesome,
man.
Right.
So Dan, I found this one channel run by this guy, classic wrestling stuff, and I just became using so often because it's just he's collected everything in just one tidy package and finds shit that's out there, but no one else can find it. At least my dumbass can't. And so after a while, I finally was like, I want to let this guy know that we appreciate him. Mm-hmm. But I worried it was like he's gonna be like, well, stop using my stuff for your stupid dick and fart show. But I reached out, I responded in YouTube to thank him and told him about the show. Pops up in the chat room during a live show. Great guy and everything. And then like I invited him on time. I'm like, hey, want to be on the show? And he's like, I live in England. Like, the time is all wrong, but
that's right. There's somebody else from England who wanted to be on our show too. Hey, no problem.
We could maybe do an afternoon show one time like to accommodate somebody.
Afternoon tea.
Get day drunk.
Yes.
I have done a couple podcasts from England, and it has involved me waking up at like 6 or 7 in the morning in order to do so. Yeah, so.
As we all know, Kelly and I met doing a podcast with someone from England. We would get up.
We were lucky that guy was an insomniac, so he was on our schedule.
So who's under the mask here?
I don't
know. It's probably another mask if we know this guy.
I can't click on his name.
Yeah.
What was the one guy? Renesto? Johnny? Tom?
The great Renesto?
Looks like the body seems.
It could be. No, but it's no mustard tights.
Yeah. The crowd is like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, yeah. We could be home watching The Year Without a Santa Claus. What the fuck is this?
Do you think, like, what is there a full show of this that exists in Japanese as well?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably just showed the matches involving Inoki and
Japanese
Fujinami,
talent, yeah.
And then maybe the main event, like the Von Erichs, anyone that was a name in Japan. Brody's on this card, so they would have shown that match.
I think the Japanese fans are like going, "This is bullshit. He would have beaten this glove long ago."
Well, this is probably
as I say that.
No need to go too long with the mask.
The double masked demon.
Who is that? It's the masked demon. After he takes the mask off.
Someone needs. There's 2 things we've seen so far that someone needs to bring back. The double mask thing, because that's great.
Somebody did recently in AEW, I think.
Okay, then do triple.
Yes.
And going back to Iceman, someone needs to bring back the gym socks with the stripes pulled out over from the boots.
Oh, okay.
Great look.
Yeah, kind of pulling up. Yeah.
Oh, here comes the.
Hurts so good.
Yeah.
Is that Brian Adams? Or no, who is that?
That's Lance Von Erich. I know he looks just like Brian Adams.
No, it did. This is a muddy.
And this is the third video source.
He just got done singing Summer of '69. Now he's heading down to the ring there, Travis. Brian Adams.
Well, there was a wrestler named Brian Adams, of course.
Yeah.
I think you meant Chris Adams.
I meant Ryan Adams.
Right. No, unfortunately,
it's a John Mellencamp song.
Yeah.
All to it, John.
Is it Chris Adams? That's who I was thinking of. Chris Adams.
That's what I thought. You thought it was Chris Adams.
Chris Adams. Pardon me. Sucking on chili dogs.
Look at that. Can you imagine being the kid in the back waving your piece of paper? Wouldn't you know this is pointless? You're never going to get an autograph.
It feels like an Amazing Discoveries crowd. Like they've been enumerated, like that one show we saw a while back. Mm-hmm. But I guess Von Erich Mania was still running wild.
Yeah, for Lance.
And now it just cleaned up. Interesting.
Because that's what they cut in.
Yeah.
WWE footage.
Oh man, classic wrestling stuff. Let's give this guy something.
Yeah,
He's the
no, I
man.
love these comps. They're great.
He's great, man. Like I look all over and find channels with weird shit and everything and some obscure stuff, but no one's provided more for this show than classic wrestling stuff,
especially in the last year or so.
Yeah. Dan, we've been doing a project that's getting close to wrapping up because my first year of finding wrestling that wasn't WWF was '85, and one of the first things I found that I fell in love with was Crockett on Philly Channel 17 and Worldwide, the syndicated show, and he has every single episode. So we've been watching pretty much every single one since the first one I ever saw in the spring to get to the end right after Starrcade, and we're getting towards Starrcade with our little project, and it's been a flashback to being 15 years old. This guy's the best.
That sounds amazing. And 85 is a good year for Crockett too, right?
Oh yeah, it's when I fell in love with Jimmy Valiant.
It's my Cinema Paradiso moment for Manny Fernandez. I've just discovered my love of Manny Fernandez.
He's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not the wrestling, his military service.
Yeah.
I was actually on a show with him in New Jersey in 2019. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
amazing.
Awesome.
He drove to, I don't know where he lives, but he drove there because he had a bunch of dogs with him that were in like the back seat of his car. So
of course he does.
Incredible. What?
That's awesome.
Another chapter in the legend of Manny Fernandez.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing about Manny Fernandez's lies. I don't give a shit. To be perfectly honest with you, they're ridiculous. They're easily provable wrong. And he's also in ring one of my favorite guys I've ever seen. So
yeah,
who cares?
I think if he had become as big as I've said this before, if he became as big as Hogan, he'd be known as widely for just like this unreliable source.
Sunshine came to the missing links defense.
So I threw it. That's when I. Was he a defensive player or an offensive player, Kelly? Or man, not the real Manny Fernandez.
The Miami Dolphins Manny Fernandez is a defensive player, but I don't know about.
That's who he was pretending to be.
West Texas. Well, he did go to West Texas State. He didn't play football. He didn't play pro football, but he played out at the famous West Texas State.
Moose is mentioning how Landy, obviously from England, had Brett footage that WWE didn't have until they used on Brett that they used on Brett's DVD.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's crazy.
Landy's one of the greats.
Yeah,
not put down Landy.
Of course. It's nice of Manning to dress up for the occasion.
Yeah, I know. It's Christmas.
Dude, I was so happy they brought back the shirts and bow ties tonight. We had
you guys just did that.
Yeah, we did it on Halloween for both shows. And
like I said,
I kind of love it. Yeah, I think we should stick with it. Yeah,
keep it. Yeah.
Rick Rude taking Von Erich back into the corner.
And he did. I'm sorry. Even if you were in '85, you were one of these teenage girls who was like totally in love with the Von Erichs. You knew by looking at this guy, there's no way he's related to the Von Erichs. Look at him. He's actually good looking.
He's too good.
This is that who MJF played?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That's why they cut it. MJF's nowhere near as good looking as this guy.
He's having his arm held in a very.
Of course, I knew it
in these kind of tights. White. He looks. Yeah.
It's his Christmas tights.
Yeah.
He was red. Yeah. Of course, my ass knew who Lance Von Erich was because I was the 1985 equivalent of a Smart Mark, and not because I got the newsletters, because I read the After Mags, and I had seen a story on Ricky Vaughn out of the Pacific Northwest. So,
right,
I was on to you, Fritz.
Rude is chiseled here, but he's not as big as he would get. Or tanned. He's pretty pasty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he reminds me of Ravenous Randy Myers in a way.
Also, yeah. Also very cut.
Giving advice.
We're getting a lot of Percy close-ups tonight.
And this, of course, the American Heavyweight Championship battle. This edition of World
I kind of, like, at 15, I kind of liked Percy Pringle, but he kind of annoyed me when I finally got to see him. I read about him in Florida. I thought he was fine, but he kind of annoyed me. And then he proceeded to annoy me for 30 years as Paul Bearer. So, I mean, I love him. Every shoot interview, one of the greatest guys ever in wrestling, but not my favorite performer. I know I'm in the minority. Everyone loves Paul Bearer, right?
Really? I never liked him.
Okay.
I have a Paul Bearer.
How about you, Travis? Were you a Paul Bearer fan as a kid?
No, like he was annoying, but like he was there to be a heel, right? And it was weird enough. Like it didn't like. What's a reference point on like where's he coming from with that whole character?
He's a funeral director who's
yeah. But the whole like a chiller,
theater host.
It felt, I guess, maybe it just felt original enough to me to.
But the name, name alone.
I was too dumb as a young kid to even know what a pallbearer was.
Well, you grew okay. Well, you guys were growing up on Bruce Hart gimmicks, so
Yes.
Paul Bearer was right up your alley.
Yeah, good point. Dan, did I ever tell you that Bruce Hart used to be our substitute teacher, Kelly and I?
You did not, but that's amazing. I think he was still teaching in the Calgary area up until fairly recently too, I think.
I'm certain. Like,
really?
Why not?
Wow.
Why not? But I'll tell you this, we did not talk about social studies much for those classes. As soon as he heard from Kelly and I that we had an interest in his time in Stampede,
Well,
he was
a
more than
lot
willing
of
to.
people at that time of our age were still into it. Because that was grade 8.
But I know it was only the two of you who would like get him off topic and ask him questions in class, right?
You got a little too close to the action. There goes Lynch. Percival Pringle.
Daniel, let me ask you. I'm going to put you on the spot. What was your, like, just from when you were a fan, what did you think of the Paul Bearer character? Did you like it? Did it get on your nerves a little?
I was never a huge fan. I mean that I literally started watching right around the same time that he debuted with Taker.
How old were you? I mean,
I was 6.
Okay.
And
I'm the oldest person here.
Sorry. And I'm still in my 40s. I'm not that young. But I was also a huge Ultimate Warrior mark. So actually the first house show I ever went to was headlined by Warrior Taker. So
there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Body bag match.
Wow. That's incredible because of the age difference. That is a match that I would have run for the hills to avoid ever watch at that time. I was pretty much out of watching wrestling back then because WWF was too cartoony and WCW was a joke. But I watched Clash of Champions because it was free on Wednesday nights.
That dude holding the rope is like, in or out, boys? Come on, make a choice.
Come on. It's a good thing that rope is there. It's a good thing that rope is there. This crowd of hillbillies be charging the ring.
I was just going to say 91 WWF, which is the first full year that I basically watched, was like pretty ambitious when it came to like heater angles, like they did where they suffocated Warrior in the coffin, and then Savage getting bitten by the snake.
The snake, yeah.
I remember the snake
as an impressionable youth, that was pretty horrific.
Okay,
Yeah,
big time.
I remember the snake thing and all that, but to me at the time, I was also like, well, this is too ridiculous for me too. I thought the snake thing was wild, and I liked that, but he's killing him by suffocating him in a coffin, or he's choking the voodoo spells. I know for kids, people are like, that scared the shit out of me. And I get it, but that's that disconnect for me where I'd be flipping around and I go, oh, what the fuck is this shit? and then a couple years later, I'm back all in at the height of TL hockey.
Yeah, you got in, with Babyface Doink and all those really
No, when I first started rewatching, Doink was a heel, and I loved him.
Right.
When I first saw him come out and I was a clown, I initially was like, fuck this, a clown, fuck you, Vince. And then I noticed that he was an evil clown. And then I noticed that it was Matt Bourne and he was chain wrestling. And I was like, oh, this is my favorite gimmick on television. This is great. And then they ruined it.
Look at that bird brain sign.
Matt Bourne ruined it.
Matt Bourne ruined a few things in his life. When I first started going to local indie shows regularly as a teenager, he was being used semi-regularly here, and he had a legitimate scary aura to him. Like he was the most intense man in the room for sure.
No. I can imagine, man. Wow. Was he wrestling as Matt Bourne, or was he doing that? What was the thing he did in ECW? Born Again.
No, he was doing just as himself, no face paint. I saw him wrestle Bart Sawyer a handful of times.
Okay, wow.
Here in Westminster, actually, yeah.
Okay, wow. Okay, put the two of them together in a ring full of people who've made some bad choices in life.
Could make a movie of that.
All leading up to that match. You saw them. Their
You
lives
remember,
leading up to that match.
Travis, you remember, okay, Daniel, we were seeing a bit of Bart Sawyer on that Worldwide during the in '85 where he was briefly there with Buzz. They were feuding with the Midnights. And he looked like, and we figured out he had sunglasses on. He looked like that South Park character, Mimsy, the gangster kid with Down syndrome.
So Mark Youngblood and Doug Peterson versus the Freebirds.
Mark Young, wow. I never.
Dave Peterson, sorry.
Dave Peterson. Oh, wasn't he in the AWA?
DJ Peterson.
DJ Peterson later on. I mean, he had a good look or physique anyway, which in the 80s got you a long way.
Was he on the AWA serial show? Because that's when he was.
May have been. Yeah, he was in a tag team with somebody that I can't remember.
I have looked for that because I know we covered the AWA serial show on Worldcast, but I totally wanted to do it for this show. Sorry, my internet's unstable.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's on YouTube. But
it's not. I've looked everywhere. Oh God.
Yeah, that's the one with the network dying. That's the biggest shame of all is that's going away.
They're losing the serial show. Hilarious.
Oh, that one. That's not on.
That's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, that was on the
that was a hidden gem. Yeah.
Yes.
Now it's all going to be gone because it's not going on Netflix.
No.
But the network's been gone for a couple of years in the States, right?
Yeah, but all that stuff's on Peacock now.
All of it?
I got it.
Everything except Hidden Gems.
So all the world-class shows are on there?
Yeah, all that stuff's there.
Really? I guess because Netflix is going to get nothing, really. Besides some pay-per-views.
Well, it's because outside of us, no one was watching it, so they're not bothering with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised it's on Peacock.
Oh, Peacock, the Peacock is just the network. There's a WWE tab you hit, and then it's like being on the network again.
Right. I thought that's what they would do with Netflix, but obviously not.
I think I read that it's staying on Peacock through 2025, but then beyond that it's up in the air. So
they've been putting a ton of shit out for free on YouTube lately.
Yeah, I think it's migrating to YouTube. The Vault. There's actually been a lot of cool stuff put up on there recently.
The behind the scenes of the Wrestle Rock Rumble video and
I haven't watched it, but I saw that it was out there. Yeah, cool. And speaking of 91 Undertaker, the match between him and Randy Savage finally saw the light of day on that. You may have saw the Randy Savage 3-hour mixtape video.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but
it's on there. It doesn't have the finish apparently, but anyway, it was something that a lot of people were. It was a holy grail for a lot of people because there was a picture of it from the match in one of the old magazines, I guess, or something.
Oh yeah,
old WWF magazines.
Oh yeah, I saw that mix. It's like 3 hours, that mixtape.
Yeah, it's like an hour into that is Taker Savage from 91 without the finish.
You know what? Right now, publicly, okay, this is the show. Now, Dan, I know you were like, oh, being all humble and stuff, but no kidding. This is the show that's going to get us the most views because the Wrestling Genius Daniel Makabe is on this one. Well, come on. So I'm going to use that platform. I'm going to use it for two things, okay? We're going to get you to come out of retirement one more time because we're going to publicly challenge Bryan Danielson to come out of retirement one more time. For Dean 2. Okay, we'll get Phil. All right. The other thing is, I lost myself in that one, is I want to apply to be the guy who works for WWE to run their YouTube channel. Come on. You know I'm
doing fine without you. No offense.
Oh, come on. I'd be great at that. I'd be uploading the weirdest, stupidest shit.
Cool. Yeah. Moose says they've registered a new WWE Vault trademark recently. So I think that's going to be...
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot on there. I went through it the other day to see. There's quite a few videos.
Just Jimmy Valiant match after Jimmy Valiant match.
The Boogie Woogie collection.
The Boogie Woogie collection, yeah. 8 hours.
You never
long.
know. Mixtape, 6 hours, 8 hours. Maybe they'll finally do the Paul Jones feud.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. God, look at Gordy just making Mark Youngblood look good.
Kevin says we all want that gig.
Yeah, but man, look, me and Kelly put together mixtapes every 2 weeks for this show. We've got experience. Okay, but they got to hire both of us, Kelly. How about that?
That's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Statler and Waldorf.
More variety is the spice of life, right? You have your style, I have my style.
It'd be nothing but Jimmy Valiant matches on my side and nothing but Joshi matches on yours. No one's going to see anything else.
A lot of Joshi, yeah. And 70s Detroit.
I'd be like, why are they suddenly using all of their Smoky Mountain footage?
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Nice.
Goodbye. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The lights, the party's over.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Since we're in Texas, I thought I'd do my Dandy Don Meredith impersonation.
Nice. That's a Christmas present.
You can do Cosell, I'll be Meredith, and we'll do the Monday Night Booth from 1973.
Well, there they are. Gordy, Buddy Roberts, beating David Peterson and Mark Youngblood.
You
don't look so good.
The Freebird fist bump is the best because it's not just your normal fist bump. Got some weird little angle to it.
Nestle in the arms like that.
Hey, okay, we need a good match here to wake things up.
I know.
It's been a slow start.
Hey, it's Christmas, world class, and remember, okay, one of the points of this show is to watch bad wrestling and talk about whatever over it.
Yeah.
But also, it would be nice to get
here. It is
Missing
Link. Come on, you know it's going to be a great match if the Missing Link's in it.
And Jack Victory.
Victory's the man. I mean, we get some is Missy Hyatt there with him or not?
I don't know. Was she with Victory at this time?
Well, Victory and Tatum got together there.
Tatum, of course. I don't know if they were a team.
team yet.
Victory!
New
There
Jersey.
he is.
He's a favorite on this
There he
show
is.
for sure. Jack Victory.
He's one of my favorites. I love the link.
Yeah. The aforementioned Ravenous Randy Myers on the aforementioned Halloween shows, that one of the Halloween shows wore Missing Link makeup.
That's great.
It was awesome.
Around the time that I was breaking in, the Missing Link's son, Jumping Jason Sterling, was out here in BC working quite regularly, and on a couple shows that I was on, he started doing a Son of the Missing Link gimmick
That's awesome.
on
That's
local
awesome.
All-Star shows. Yeah,
Like an old
Wow.
horror movie.
Did he do the haircut?
I think he did it all. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
Can't do
That's
half
awesome.
measures with the Missing Link gimmick. You got to go all the way.
I mean, you're right. That is a Universal movies horror motif, and it fits in wrestling. There's tons of juniors.
That's
That's
cool, man.
fantastic.
That's
Love it.
awesome.
Including Kabuki.
How long did he go? What's he up to these days? Do you know, Daniel?
I don't know. I mean, this is over 20 years ago.
Right.
He was really good too. He wrestled nothing like his father. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him.
That's the most backhanded compliment I've ever heard. He was really good. Nothing like his old man.
I'm just telling it like it is.
Hilarious.
Well, when he was younger, as Dewey Robertson, he was,
Yeah,
he was like a Jack
He was pretty
Briscoe
good.
type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he became a
wrestling.
nudist, an old man with a great body and a link, and got to be in Sports Illustrated. Come on.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. So he's a baby face here. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Just about rattled eyes our cameraman on this. He came flying out on this conflict floor.
I tell you, at age 15, those tights that Jack Victory had the desired effect that they were supposed to. Because right now, I think they're amazing. But at 15, it made me want to boo him. So well done.
Yeah.
I did not appreciate Jack Victory at all. I thought he sucked. I thought he looked doughy and his gear looked shitty.
And it's, yeah, you're like, it's not Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that too.
Jerk.
It's Christmas, you stupid asshole. But that's the whole point, right? I mean, that's why he was such a great heel. And then he was like, Kelly, we talked about it once. How many different gimmicks under a hood did he have in WCW over the years?
A lot. He was the blackmailer once. He was
The terrorist, wasn't he? The
terrorist, yes.
We've seen more than one terrorist.
One-offs, for whatever reason. He was always a different name.
He was definitely a Russian at one point.
Yes,
I would say, wasn't he Russian assassin?
Yes, yes, that's right. I think that was the first of the mask gimmicks, actually.
That's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool legacy. I mean, it means nothing, but it's pretty cool. It looks good on in Wikipedia.
Hey, if you actually had written resumes in wrestling, Jack Victories would be really long. Then I was this guy, and here he is.
So
Look at that jacket on.
Dude, if somebody, you need somebody to work under a hood, I'm your guy.
Sarcastic.
Man, this is the Percy Pringles show.
I
man.
know. He's
Oh yeah, he was all
every
over
freaking
everything.
So Gary Hart obviously was long gone.
Yeah, there was no
Akbar
other.
was gone, I guess.
I
Or
can't
he was
think
probably
of
in UWF at this time.
Yeah, I can't think if there was
He's
any
looking
other
to the
manager.
right to somebody to show up. Do you see that? He keeps looking, keeps waiting for somebody. Like you can see he's
Sunshine.
stalling. Stretch it out, Percy.
Kelly, I heard a sunshine drop there.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. She's gonna be
might
on
we
the show.
might we be hearing this the sweatpants snap?
Yes, probably, because it's not only Sunshine, it's also Missy Hyatt.
Wow.
Oh, then we're gonna get double sweatpants.
I will be
snaps.
turning the camera off.
In
as usual.
stereo. Percival. They call him Percival. That's his full name.
Percival.
Yes.
Well, it's
There she is.
Oh, here she is.
Oh, there she is.
Got a hand in her pocket. And the other one's
What has she
hailing
done?
Cass.
The other one's smoking a cigarette. What the?
Yeah.
Oh,
The other one's full of bear mace.
bear mace.
Bear mace.
Holy
Just
shit,
regular mace.
dude! He
Oh
just
my God! Is
took her
Percy
down.
gonna?
Look,
Is Percy gonna?
spray her, Percy.
This is Percy.
Oh,
Is like the
missing
ultimate
leg
villain.
saver,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, what a sell!
Nice
What a
Bring it.
wow!
Finally,
Wow,
finally.
What a bump from
We
Percy.
get something good.
Paul Bear
Holy
never
shit!
got that.
There we go.
Fucking Aaron.
Hey, Kelly, you know what? So far, this show's been a snooze, but
Yeah.
Sunshine
Oh, no.
shows up.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
Makes
this post,
Sunshine to the
Business
link.
has picked up.
all this post match has been great.
Mm-hmm.
But Sunshine came to the aid of the missing one.
The missing.
The
Over here on the floor, Rude.
God, he stinks.
Moose says, "Oh no, that's Chris Von Erickson Haler."
Well, the ball, Ringo, holding the back of his head.
He got something in his eyes. Get him,
And Rude is,
doctor, he got something in his eyes.
he's got something in his eyes or whatever she had in that.
Get it, doctor. I like that they heard that on the mic.
There they go.
That's it.
Big green patch on Percy's blazer.
Yeah.
Love the
Chiquita, you and I know.
80s,
She always looks like a member of ABBA every time I see her.
Yes,
and I mean that
yeah.
as a compliment.
Yeah.
A friendly little gesture right there.
I sat down to get a crown. I have a gold tooth now, guys. Did you know that? I
Oh,
sat
right.
down to get my crown put in, and when I sat down on the TV were the two women from ABBA singing Chiquita. I took a picture of it. I'm like, this is nice and calming for me to listen to. This is great. And the two, they were laughing. They had to pause before they could start operating on me or doing their job. But yeah. I love it, dude. A gold tooth is pretty badass. I'm gonna tell Nora and her cousins. No, I wish I could be like Joe Pesci
You gotta
and
pull your mouth
in
back
Home
to
Alone.
show. It's not that cool.
No. But I told Nora that her and her cousins at some point will have a competition when I get older, who gets to inherit my gold tooth.
Dude, they're gonna be taking turns trying to yank it out of your skull while you're sleeping.
Yes.
Oh, wow! I just
here
came
we
up with
go.
it. Okay, here we go. See, this is when I first started watching World Class. Actually, it's when Philly 57 got World Class like 2 weeks before the Cotton Bowl, where their heads were shaved.
Right. Yeah, so this is 2 months later.
Yeah, and the dynamic duo were definitely the highlights. They were the coolest.
There they are. There's Chris Adam
Yep, and Gino.
and Gina.
So they got the belts back.
Look at those robes.
Or they always had
Parkland.
them. They just lost their hair. They didn't lose the belts, I guess, probably.
No, but they
Fuzzy
wore
and
masks.
Fuzzy and fuzzy.
Hey,
I think that's an idea.
hey,
for the title.
Travis, how's it going down south? Fuzzy and fuzzy, pal.
Is that good? I think.
Well, you tell me. Now here we go. Yeah, they got their head shaved at the Cotton Bowl. Then they wrestled under masks for a while,
That's right.
and now that their hair's grown, they're like, okay, pretty soon.
Now the
pretty
Von
soon.
Erichsen on that.
Now they're wearing the mask.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, keep it on, man. That's rad. Holy shit, with a
Oh, look at
cap.
Jeff.
That's so
Look at
weird.
Jeff.
With a cap,
He's
too.
like, oh, yeah, he's about to show up at a bachelorette party.
No, it's like a bad Image Comics design
Yeah.
from the early 90s.
X
So-
dude. Carry Von Erich.
There's something rad about him in a fucking mask, though, man.
Yeah.
There's something rad
with
about
the,
him
like-
in chaps. Oh, hold on. There's something rad about him in chaps, if you ask me.
Buzzy and Fuzzy.
Yeah, you're not
Two
lying.
badass themes too for this match.
Yeah.
It's great.
Cool. Awesome. Right, of course, because of the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Well, yeah, they're going nuts, you know, for the music and the fact that the Von Erichs are there.
Oh no,
No,
I mean the footage.
Yeah.
The footage all of a sudden.
Oh, I see.
The WWE wouldn't.
Oh
have
wow,
that.
whoever did that edited that in.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, man. It's classic wrestling stuff.
Yes.
Putting this all together.
No, I knew that. I didn't pick up on the music bit. God, Gino's awesome. In a couple months, he'll be dead, and Chris Adams will be blind, and they'll treat it equally on television.
Not even a couple months. He's dead before the end of January. 86.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Crazy.
This could be his last.
Oh, they're the Cosmic Cowboys. Okay.
I was just say, when's Kerry's motorcycle accident? Has that already happened? Or?
No, that's summer of '86. Actually, the first month I started watching wrestling full time was the month that Kerry's accident happened.
Okay. I'm picking up on the gimmick here and why they had the mask. Apparently, the dynamic duo were refusing to wrestle the Von Erichs probably or something like that, but agreed to wrestle some tag team called the Cosmic Cowboys. And the Cosmic Cowboys come out, and that's what you saw. So Kerry was okay. The name of that image character, Cosmic Cowboy.
Cosmic Cowboy, yes.
Okay, and that's what they were wearing the mask to stick it to the heels, and that's why Kerry is barefoot. All three Von Erichs barefoot.
Oh wow, I didn't notice that. Hilarious.
So speaking of Kerry's feet,
boy, they got my letters, Johnny.
Well, you know, I always said there was only, well, you know, Jess, I've only said there's only 10 things holding Kerry Von Erich back, and I'm looking at him right now.
Wow. It's like he's taunting it the way that Buster used to in episodes of Arrested Development before he lost his hand.
Take a good look at those feet. You're not going to see them for much longer.
That reminds me, our old friend Scott Henson, Dan, the one time he was on our show, the name of the show was him telling a story, came from him telling a story about Kerry Von Erich, where he walked across the room, and it's like, P.S. foot still attached.
So funny.
Yeah.
Kerry taking a very tough bump down there.
So Gino died on February 2nd, '86, actually. Still not far in the future.
Like 6 weeks from this match, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's one thing, Dan, throughout the show, certain lines that strike me funny a certain way will then become the title of the episode.
Like, for example, Image Comics presents Cosmic Cowboy.
Yeah, right. I mean, I wouldn't use that one, but I that for example.
That's it's funny you referenced Scott, because for years and years and years we would run our backyard shows, and the titles of those, a lot of them just came from random anecdotes or jokes we would tell one another, and some of them are ones that I wouldn't want to repeat nowadays.
Of course.
But at the time we all thought it was
what?
Yeah, thought it was pretty funny. So.
Oh no, that's awesome. So that's pretty much exactly what we do here.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
There's a clothesline. Here's Kerry down with a count of 2, but not 3, and coming out of there.
It is funny because when I was like just scrolling through this, when I was putting it together and making sure that getting the times down right, I did see that Kerry was wrestling in bare feet, and I was quivering a million jokes about Kerry being so stoned he forgot his boots. But then the Cosmic Cowboy thing came in. I'm like, oh wow, it all makes sense. That's awesome.
Marvelous medical experience.
Is this the only match he wrestled barefoot? Kelly T. Nelson?
Off
the top of your head?
I had no idea that he...
Kelly, I seem to remember... Gosh, I seem to remember early World Cast, him wrestling barefoot and us goofing around about it.
Really? Like as when Kevin started? Because when we started watching World Class, Kevin was still wearing boots.
I don't know. Maybe it just occurred to me.
And
now
then
as
it was like
memory.
a big thing. Oh, I'm back to nature, and I love the.
Yeah, when he was
grass
writing,
under my feet.
when he was wanting to write poetry as he was skydiving, you know that
Right, right.
Cloud. I'm gonna be the cloud or whatever it was.
Ooh,
No one.
ooh.
I think we've said it before. No one looks more naked when they're wrestling than Kevin Von Erich.
Kevin. If he could have, he probably would have wrestled.
Yeah.
naked.
Like the Greeks.
Yeah.
Dan, I've said it often. Like I'm a Von Erich fan of the big three brothers, and Kevin is my favorite Von Erich. And when I'd hear the stories about like, wow, wrestling him was fucking rough because he was stiff or whatever, I always go, well, I wasn't in the ring with him. I don't give a fuck. He was my favorite guy. His feats of strength with his legs and stuff when I was a kid blew me away. I loved the guy.
I mean, that drop kick was really, really snug just now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Those
I definitely,
bare feet.
as someone who straddles the line between pro wrestler and like entirely too online pro wrestling fan, I see a lot of my a lot of fans who definitely put over other wrestlers as all their shit looking great, and it's like, well, there's a reason it looks great, because like we all of us who are on the receiving end of it are feeling it. So
Right.
it goes both ways, right?
It goes both ways, right? But I mean, Kevin has a reputation for being stiff, and like with online criticism, it was always, well, these stoned ass Von Erichs are dumb and they're a piece of shit. But then you're like, you hear the story about Foley talking about Terry Funk's punches, and the reason they look so good is because he really punched you, and everyone goes like, gosh, Terry Funk's the greatest wrestler of all time. Isn't that great? And a wonderful anecdote about Terry. So yeah, it all depends, man. Like I like both.
But you don't have to receive, is kind of what Dan is saying.
I do not. Hey, you know what else? I don't have to act with fucking Brando. I wouldn't want to do that either.
Yeah.
Especially now. It stinks.
Those last 20 years were pretty rough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Alan and Dr. Moreau. Saw that in the theater.
Yeah, I did too.
That like how he had.
I want to see the documentary. I heard the
the documentary is bananas.
And I hear like Val Kilmer's famously difficult as well. Right?
Yes, it was such a perfect storm of difficult actors.
And then like didn't Brando insist that he had that little guy with him?
Yeah, he found him, and there's like, I want him. And you know what? He was right. He was right.
Yeah,
he was right.
Where can we find it? I know that movie sucked though. That movie was awful.
I know, but where can we find? Was one of the highlights.
Dan, do you know where we can find the doc?
You know what? I don't know if the documentary's online. I actually watched it with the aforementioned Scott Henson a couple years ago.
Oh wow, wow.
It's got to be, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be somewhere online.
Okay, when I was 15, I was just like, I knew what wrestling was, but I didn't totally know, but I had an idea. But as far as like backstage stuff, you know, or how all that shit works, I had no idea. And when they did, we have the announcement that Gino died for real, and on the same show, and Chris Adams was blinded in this gimmick and treated it as equal. At 15, I went, oh, that's fucked up. You know, it would be one of the first times I ever reacted that way watching wrestling.
Yeah, I can imagine it just leaving like a weird taste and feeling gross.
I don't remember anything ever grossing me out like that before that.
World Class was famous for it. 2 years before, remember, Johnny, when David Von Erich died, they had a show where David wrestled in the main event. And then as soon as that match was over, you have Bill Mercer on the screen. Oh, by the way, David Von Erich died last week.
Oh, yeah, there was
that. Mention of it. Like, there had been no mention
Crazy.
of that. Yeah.
Well, that's the big finish for the TV show.
And he was on, and then David was on the next week's show because they were still showing stuff they had in the can.
Oh man.
And a couple years after this, they did a worked Fritz heart attack angle too.
The '87 Christmas night. Christmas night.
Christmas night. Christmas night.
No, they the Observer Awards in the '80s. They won most tasteless promoter.
Double claw.
Every
Double claws.
year, pretty much.
But come on, Carrie, give me something to do.
I love that Betty Boop chick in the front. We haven't mentioned her yet all night.
I was gonna say she got that as a Christmas present, maybe.
Yeah, it looks fresh. Yeah,
it's half baffling, but not really when you think about it. But I love that Christmas was a big night for wrestling. Because when you think about it at first, you go, "What?" And then you go, "Oh yeah, tons of people are looking for shit to do."
Or if it just became a thing to do, right? As soon as something becomes like a thing to do, it becomes tradition.
Well, there's that, but like that's why there's movies open on Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, my family would always watch a movie. We'd get it off like a pay movie on Christmas night, which is a big deal.
What the hell was that?
Or sometimes we went to the theater. Yeah, I saw Godfather Part 3 on Christmas.
Or bars. I checked IDs and bounced at a bar my wife was working at on Christmas. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, all the college kids are in town and they want to get out of the house. And sure enough, I did. And that was a rowdy fucking night. Someone ripped the fucking urinal off the goddamn wall.
Holy shit.
This excitement gets us ready for 1986.
Good match.
Wicked piss.
It's a great match.
Yeah, this has been good.
Yeah, so for any of the new eyeballs on here, sometimes we often just talk about urinals being ripped off of walls in the middle of great wrestling matches. Welcome to Mystery Titans 30.
But not quite three. Chris is in and out. And Kevin gives him a shot for what for, and Kerry.
Shot what for? I kind of like that.
When did Kerry go to WWF?
90.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like right after WrestleMania that year.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be wrestling in bare feet by then. Just
of course, no, that's what I'm saying.
Like the football players get out in the trenches and verbalize a bit with each other.
I'll tell you when I did get back into WWF briefly. Me and one of my best and oldest friends, Mark Spanner, and we were living together at the time. 92, we were flipping around on Saturday morning, and we just turned on Syndicated Superstars or Wrestling Challenge, and it was the gimmick where Bobby Heenan had Ric Flair's belt, and he's like, this is Hulk Hogan's, that's like Horseman, or this is the Ric Flair, whatever. And we were like, what the fuck? We're like, what the fuck? And we watched for about a year during that whole period of time, and there was a lot of good stuff.
That's what got me back in, because I'd stopped after WrestleMania 5, come in the summer there for whatever reason, and I would watch a few shows here and there. I saw the WrestleManias, but I wasn't watching weekly until Flair in the WWF, and then Bret Hart also won the Intercontinental title. That boosted my interest big time too.
I got to tell this story again just because Dan's never heard it. So again, in and out of wrestling, but months and months later, I finally saw the Bret Hart Mr. Perfect match from SummerSlam at a go-go bar, which was basically a strip club where they're not allowed to get naked in New Jersey with our weird rules, on a Saturday afternoon, drinking beer, and they had that on a videotape playing, and I had girls coming by, shaking their things, looking for dollars. And I'm just kind of pushing them over here and watching this amazing wrestling match and marking out for 20 minutes in the place. One of my favorite wrestling memories I've ever had. That match rules.
Great match, yeah.
Especially finding out later that Hennig was so hurt.
He barely walked.
He was pilled up, big time. Yeah.
He didn't wrestle again for a couple of years almost.
Yes, like spring '93 he comes back, I think.
Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, I'm wrong. It was the Survivor Series.
Oh yes. Survivor Series '92. Yeah.
Where he was the last minute replacement for Warrior.
Yeah,
So it was about
Warrior
a year.
and Bulldog got
14
fired.
months.
I included that in the homeroom announcements recently, where that kind of gave him a really good little push, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was this babyface turn.
Right.
The matches weren't as good because he was better as a heel. Like the Mr. Perfect gimmick is of course a heel
Of course.
gimmick.
Yeah.
But well, he had another great match with Bret Hart at King of the Ring '93.
Mm-hmm.
And a rare
Also-
babyface match for the time. But his feud with Shawn Michaels was disappointing. We saw them wrestle in Calgary.
Right. Was that our first WWF house show?
Maybe yours. I'd been to a few before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first was January '89 at the Saddle Dome.
What was the main?
Bad News Brown and Randy Savage.
Nice.
World
Wow.
title.
Wow.
Just less than a month before the Mega Powers Explode angle.
Is that a
Yeah.
disqualification?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the top rope, NWA rules. No, that's another thing that's coming to an end at this point. Is the next month they would leave the NWA World Class, and Rick Rude would become the first world champion because he was the America's champion or American champion, whatever it was. After all that at DQ, that's
That
deflating.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny.
Just to set up the dissension here. Is that?
Yes. Yeah. Because that's coming, like Johnny said, very soon.
Oh yeah. They're about to break up. Gino will throw blinding ink in Chris Adams' eye.
Oh well, here we go. Right
Here it is.
Whoa, the partnership may be dissolved here.
Start a match. Start a new match. Ring the bell.
He's seeing stewardesses.
Let's go to round pulling.
No, I think you missed my hand there, Chris. Just a handshake is what I wanted, not a slap.
It's weird for them to do the turn here where they retain the belts.
Yeah, I know. It is. Yeah. Look
It's
at
the teasing. It's the teasing.
Yeah, I guess, it's not the full turn yet.
Oh, but I mean, come on. This sort of public outburst. How can you expect them to be in?
It's Christmas. They can forgive each other. Come on, man.
These fans are great tonight.
Oh yeah.
No one's in the front row.
Gino looked like $1 million here too.
Yeah.
He was only 28.
And that was another one of my first, smarkish, whatever, realizations that when Gino died, I remember thinking, oh, fuck, what could have been with that guy? Like, that's when I was first recognizing what a great wrestler was. And I was all in on Gino Hernandez.
Yeah, I mean, we could fantasy book. He probably would have went to the WWF at some point.
Okay. By the way,
fantasy. Speaking of fantasies.
Kelly, I know you won't disagree with this because Sunshine's in it, but Mercer or Lawrence just said, and now time for the main event.
Missy too.
This is the main event. Scott Casey and Sunshine versus.
This is the main event. Are we almost done on the?
They just announced this as the main event.
I mean, let's see here.
No,
we still got. They're not going to go 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
He's using the term loosely.
Okay, Bill Murray.
We still haven't seen Brody.
It's the main event for Bill Mercer to see Missy Hyatt in that outfit.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, I was like,
Missy Hyatt.
Fritz Von Erich did not believe in bras, but Bill Watts did, because Missy always looked like this, just heavy hanging, and goes to Watts and has dresses better. Let me just put it that way. That was a Fritz thing. Yet he covers up Sunshine like this.
as a fellow aficionado, Johnny, did you not notice that in WCW that it was still she was just letting the dogs out for
I
a
don't
walk?
know. She had some good back. Her brassieres had better back support and lift.
Really? I thought that was part of the thing for Missy Hyatt, is just like,
well, I think she started.
It's like Chrissy Snow. Chrissy Snow.
Yeah, as problematic as it is for I'm gonna say three guys to talk about this because Dan's smart and not saying a fucking thing. At 15, I was thinking to myself, didn't she have a brawl of some sort here?
I don't know.
And Kelly here, I mean, look, Sunshine is a beautiful woman, and he's got her covered up like she's a Mormon.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Missy makes up for it.
I'm blaming this all on Fritz von Erich, by the way. Including Scott Casey. Okay, since we're already on the man show bandwagon, I thought Sunshine, when she went heel in Watts, that's the first time I went, oh wow, she is gorgeous. She never did it for me in World Class. They had to turn her into a rock star groupie. Like, oh yeah, that's what does it for 16-year-old Hedgebeth.
There's your sweet spot.
I really liked her as Jimmy Garvin's fellow.
Yeah, no, Kelly liked her as a 70s girl who would be in that Coke commercial. I'd like to teach the world to see.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the camera cuts when they cut back to her.
I got it, dude. When we watched all that,
we
watched all that, I understood it completely.
Yeah.
And she was an amazing performer.
And then that promo sheet, that scorching hot promo.
That promo off the top of her head.
Yeah,
off the top of her head.
Yeah. When she turned babyface, that's an all-time great promo.
Yeah.
Taro says he blames Stella Mae French for Sunshine's outfit.
For Sunshine, he blames Stella Mae French's bad influence. It wasn't the Freebirds. It was that Stella Mae French who started leading Sunshine down the wrong path.
Kevin, you down to join us for Patreon, buddy? Let me know.
Oh, hey, Kevin, you'll like this. So when I plugged the show at DVD-VR earlier, I did list. I'm like, hey, this is what we do, and here's some of the wrestlers we've had on, and I listed a bunch, including Scott, and Todd Quality, because you got to mention his name. And I go, and one of our regular guests, the one and only Tara. I'm like, there's one place that'll get a fucking pop. It's got to be DVD-VR, right?
Yeah. And you haven't checked? You're not getting a bunch of notifications. Your phone isn't blowing up with
what? Dude, it's a wrestling message board. I mean, the fact
I know how DVD is.
Somewhat active is amazing.
Just a little shaking on the body slam, but look out, Mr. Tatum. There's Scott on hand.
Kevin says, and crickets.
I don't know, mate. Hey, I tell you what, I read over there more than I post, and I get a lot of like, I'm old.
Oh no! Oh no!
Here we go.
Jesus Christ!
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Madness. Let's get physical. Crazy.
Missy was only a couple months into the business at this point.
Yeah, she was brand new. She was a natural, man.
Well, she was a huge.
Oh, that's clear. Oh, that was clear from the start.
Yeah.
You mean as a wrestler?
Totally natural. Yep. And I thought Tatum sucked, and that was part of his gimmick. Tatum was actually very good, but his look too. That's why him and Jack Victory were the perfect tag team, because they just looked like
Well,
looking
kind
slobs.
of dime a dozen bleached blonde.
Yeah, you know, but they were very good. It was like Buddy Rose and Doug Summers.
Kevin says, damn it, I was ranked above The Rock on the DVD-DVR 500 once.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Did The Rock get pissed about it like Lance Storm?
I was about to say, what was Dwayne ranting about Kevin being 3/4 legit or whatever Lance Storm said about Kawada, I think it was.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
Good combination over here, Sunshine and Scott Casey.
Yeah, Kevin says, based off of one match, I was ranked, I think, like 110, which was ridiculous.
Really? Wow, what year was this?
What year was that,
like
Kevin?
97 or so?
No, probably 2001 or 2002.
Oh, because The Rock was no longer wrestling full time. Right, I get it. Yeah. I was thinking Rocky Maivia years.
Dude, okay. The DVD VR list, even the Rocky Maivia years, I picture Taro.
2001, he says. Never forget. Never forget.
Never forget. The Rock's never forgotten that. It's still bugs up to this day. That's what's turned him into a raging asshole.
He made Red 1 with that in mind, and it backfired. Pure rage, and it cost him a lot of cash.
You know what, brother? I'm gonna make an angry Christmas movie because I just can't get over that fucking Taro.
It's fueling his race. It's why he's still at it. There's a Black Adam too. That was all Taro, really. All that fuel. Holy shit!
Now, piss boy, get over here, piss boy.
How's this match gonna end, you guys? I have no idea.
Why are we wrestling when we should be loving each other?
Maybe close to tears right now. At least her feelings are hurt and she has to come back in.
Kevin said it was all because of the July 7th, 2000 Rev Pro match of Super Dragon inventing Psycho Driver, dropping him on his head. As a result, lots of folks probably hated the two of them.
Missy has had a tough time. Sunshine has had a few. She's looking for another opportunity. But it's Scott and Tatum back in the ring now. Sunshine is ready to go. And Missy looks just a little bit perplexed about all this as Tatum hammers on Scott. Here comes Sunshine. She comes down to help out.
Sunshine's really working her ass off in this.
Yeah. How many matches does Sunshine have? What's Cage Match got for Sunshine? I'm gonna guess less than 10.
No, I would say more than that, but
Really?
because she was involved in a lot of these mixed situations.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, it'd have to be like a special occasion.
Yeah, they may have ran it at watch shows, house shows. I'm not sure.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean televised matches.
Very nice.
That's a nice.
Now it's interesting that Tatum is not tagged with Missy.
John Tatum is one of the great crying heel chicken shit wrestlers. He literally cries, and it eventually does some kind of weird gimmick years later where he's like crying on camera about something. But watch how he sells things when he's running when he's scared. He's literally sobbing when he does it.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Didn't have as much gas in the tank for that power slam. Man, this is chaos.
Come on,
You
Tatum.
can do a plancha? Is
Oh,
Sunshine
no.
going to do a
Whoa,
plancha?
whoa,
Oh, no,
whoa.
that's what I thought we were going to see.
Yeah,
there for a second.
Sunshine's about to fly into the third row.
Yeah.
Invented the
corkscrew plancha.
helps her partner. And Missy is chagrined.
Wrestling Data has 46 matches for Sunshine.
All right. Kevin was just saying 21 matches from Cage Match.
See, that's why Wrestling Data is better.
Hold on a second. We got a beef between these two websites. That seems like a huge disparity.
And also, Kevin says he's refusing to ever appear on another show in the Patreon or anything otherwise.
Oh, shit.
Because of this discrepancy. So, wow. Things are getting heated.
Sunshine, just look at him. He's crying. She just slapped her man.
More excitement of world-class championship wrestling. We'll tell you about it in just a moment.
Missy doesn't like losers.
Was this on TV?
Yeah.
But split over.
Hey,
like
here you
three,
go. Oh, here you go.
3 episodes.
Right. It wouldn't air live on Christmas
No,
Day.
no. But
No.
not, like very close afterwards. Though.
Cool.
Here it is.
No,
yeah.
There's
no,
Dr. Death. And we have not Dr. Death, as always, is our first New Year's guest,
That's
January
right.
11th. Yeah. We have our Christmas, our New Year's show with James, our annual movie watch in 2 weeks.
Yes. And I think we can announce
The
what we're going to be
film,
doing.
the film,
Yeah.
the piece of cinematic history.
Yes. The one and only, the newly discovered vanity wrestling project, Hammerhead Jones, featuring Tugboat. Fred Ottman's in there, and the one and only, the legendary Rusty Brooks appears in this film.
That's right.
Also,
Academy Award nominee.
Also, per request of James, we're going to be watching the Donahue wrestling episode, which Happy New Year, everyone. And I have found a 6-minute buffer, perfect third thing for it. On an earlier show, I found a clip of Bruno Sammartino deciding to do a little acting in a show called Tribeca as a surly pizzeria owner. And I also discovered Bruno's other foray into acting, a 6-minute clip of the promo video for an indie classic called Salunatics. So that's what's coming up for
Interesting. I hope you found something for our friend Killer Khan as well.
Oh, didn't think about
that's right. This is the first movie night with the long con going on.
Which Donahue wrestling episode? No, it's the one with Meltzer and Vince and everybody.
Superstar, Billy Graham, Bruno.
And that one guy who lied about everything, who fucked everything up. What's that guy's name? Bix and Zellner talked about it a lot.
I don't know if he lied about everything.
He lied about a lot.
I forget his name.
Like
Timber Hodgson.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Briefly, he was, or maybe he just had a tryout to be like a Sean Mooney type guy, but I forget.
You know what? This is our Christmas show, and that's all I want to talk about. Fucking Vince McMahon for the rest of this show. This is wild because I had no idea that this match ever happened here, and it's wild to me that this 12-match card on Christmas. And had Steve Williams, who's not there as a regular. He is with Watts at this time, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Inoki, who I imagine some of these people know who he is, because they saw Bad News Bears go to Japan and where Tony Curtis under a hood beats him, or the Muhammad Ali match. I think more people saw Bad News Bears.
Oh yeah, go to Japan. That's debatable.
did that match come out?
Well, in the States, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Well, nothing else matters, right, Kelly?
Well, actually, I mean, that was some. I mean, they had a lot of closed circuit venues for that.
About
Remember,
to see
Johnny,
David Manning's ass crack.
It was coordinated with a whole bunch of different.
Merry Christmas, motherfuckers! Here's my ass crack.
Here's a cat's eye.
But yeah, I don't know what this was all about, other than Inoki had been. Well, the agreement with the WWF had ended earlier in '85.
Yeah.
So I guess Inoki was trying to maybe establish a new
Check
American
out the kit
connection.
on the cameraman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's
Oh, nice.
he's there all the time. He's been there forever. You guys have mentioned him, I think. Like he usually wears like a green T-shirt. Yeah.
I can't remember the producers.
Okay, so I'm wondering if Inoki, Inoki got to choose his opponent. If he said, "I want to wrestle the Steve," and Williams was not huge yet. He was just gaining momentum in Watts. That he specifically requested him, and Fritz asked, worked it out with Bill Watts because that's who Inoki wanted to work. Because who the fuck else was Inoki gonna work in world class with their roster up there?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Was Williams not regularly going to New Japan already though at this point?
I think you know what
I think
that's what I'm trying to get Kelly to do.
Well, I was gonna say he's more well known, of course, with being in All Japan.
All Japan.
He didn't jump to All Japan until 1990 though.
Oh, okay, there. See, I didn't know that. I'm more familiar with.
No, he was a New Japan regular for the first couple of years of him going over there. So
there we go. So that's the
maybe
answer.
That's it, right?
Well, that's not even maybe. That's just the answer.
Mystery
Right
Titans
there.
Theater, getting to the bottom of bullshit for 4.5 years.
Yeah, well, Dan is a semi-regular on Between the Sheets.
Just what
yeah,
I was mentioning.
I can't compete with that level of wrestling nerddom.
Neither can I, to be perfectly honest.
I was going to say, like, through osmosis of those 6-hour shows, you maybe learned a few things.
Well, I've basically heard every show since the beginning. So yeah.
Oh my God!
Wow. Awesome.
Oh my Lord! How many years of your life?
That's a weekly listen broken up over multiple commutes. So
of course,
yeah, it's a commitment. That's for sure.
I mean, recording with them is like a multiple evening process. So
I believe.
Filming a movie up to
Kevin says he's done it as well. Kevin's done it.
Yep.
Okay,
he does it on 2 times speed though.
That's wild. Like, I've never listened just because I don't listen to anything wrestling anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. And the idea of a 6-hour or whatever podcast, I was like, I listen to 3-hour podcasts, no problem, that I pay for on Patreon. But 6 hours, I don't know if I could ever.
Well, to be fair, 6 hour was like their best of show.
Okay, I see.
3 hours is more like
they typically range from about 4.5 to 6 every week. Yeah.
Okay, well, nice.
Yeah, I just.
I've listened to segments.
I couldn't listen to anything.
They do put the timestamps.
I listened to all of the. Like, I made it my business to listen to all of the Titan Gate stuff that they made available when the real serious Vince allegations started coming in, and that was incredible.
Now, if they ever want to bring
me
on, if they ever want to bring me on and talk about Jimmy Valiant for 3 hours, I'd love to. I'd love to, guys.
It's a very specific week.
Or whatever you want. I got nothing else to do. This is you know what? As Kelly knows, I'm not the biggest Inoki fan in the world. However, I'm enjoying this match pretty much.
Yeah.
Inoki's, I mean, he's had there's a lot of great Inoki matches on tape, but then there's also a lot of dud Inoki matches. You never know. It's a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
When you see a guy, he's definitely on a decline at this point, though. I mean, he's in his mid-40s probably.
Mm-hmm. Look. When I was what year did Bad News Bears Go to Japan come out?
78, 9.
I saw that.
That's got to be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That came out of nowhere.
I saw it in the drive-in theater. So I never looked at this guy as a winner. First time I ever saw this guy, he jobbed to Tony Curtis.
How can you not with that Elvis jawline?
I remember on Titans of Wrestling when we had to watch Inoki Backlund, I just conveniently forgot to do it and would just go do something else.
Yeah, the dog ate your homework every time.
The dog ate my homework. Here we go. Oh, more Lance?
Oh, so now this is the real main event.
They wrestled twice.
Von Erichs versus the Freebirds.
They all wrestled twice. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The All Barefoot Brigade.
You got 6 of them like this. You got to, or at least half of them.
So we actually didn't miss much. We didn't get Brody and One Man Gang in a chain match, unless that's still to come. And we missed, unfortunately, Johnny Mantell against Tommy Montana. That was the curtain jerker.
Tommy who?
I don't know. Tommy Montana.
Tommy who, Kelly?
Yeah.
Tommy. Fuck. Really?
Mm-hmm. The one and only Tommy Montana.
Tommy Montana? Tommy Montana. I used to have like 8 Tommy Montana shirts in the 90s.
Go Home Freebirds is still a thing in 1984.
Still a thing. I noticed that when I first started watching this. That was like, all right, because Philly 57 was showing this, and right afterwards it would show Classic World Class. Those stuff from starting when the Freebirds Von Erichs feud started. They never showed anything before that. Chris was smart. He didn't want anyone to see. And it occurred to me that the crowds only knew 2 chants. Let's go so-and-so, or go home Freebirds. There was never any variation of those 2.
Mm-hmm. The primitive days of fan chanting. This match is heavily clipped for some reason.
Yeah, it used to annoy me. I was just like, come up with something. Go, Kerry, go. Go, Kerry, go. Go, Iceman, go. Go, Iceman, go. I'm like, God, they're trying to fit in so many syllables between the goes.
Oh, and Kerry's got boots on now.
Well, yeah, he's not a cosmic cowboy.
He's not a cosmic cowboy.
It's a Clark Kent Superman situation. Oh, well, that's not me, Lois. That's not me, Lois.
Oh, you are wearing boots.
Because he's wearing his boots.
Wait, what is he about to fart on his face? Merry Christmas, brother.
You know, brothers. It should have been on Lance.
So they worked twice tonight, clearly. All right, so did the Freebirds.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone but Michael.
Yeah, except for Michael. Yeah. Michael Hayes.
Because he's got the brains.
Deep South, not too long ago, against the Freebirds, and that infuriated them. They didn't win in their home territory.
Moonwalk.
And so that's where they want right now. They want to get back and have another
The wildest thing about 80s Freebirds is that Michael Hayes is like 27 here.
Yeah, maybe
he could be 50.
I know.
Right.
He's so
always.
And Gordy started at an absurd age too. He still had
15.
kind of the young
he was
baby.
15.
No, he was 13.
13.
Yeah.
13, yeah.
For the IWA, I believe, that short-lived outlaw deal. And yeah, Buddy's like way older than both of them.
Oh, yeah.
He started wrestling in the 60s at some point. Dale Hay from Vancouver.
On this show, we watched some, I think from...
when he was in the Hollywood Blondes, the original
the Hollywood Blondes, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Hayes is 26 here.
26,
Yeah.
That's wild. What really gets you is when they go, when Michael Hayes was first Doc Hendricks, he was 30 whatever, and you're like, what?
Crazy.
Yeah, 36, I guess. It was 10 years later.
How old was he during the Austin 316 speech?
Because that was 96. So 11
right
years.
around there,
Yeah. Less than 11 years, because that was in the spring of '86. I know.
Younger than all of us.
I know.
Yep,
It's great.
yep,
Tony Gurria,
yeah.
every time we watch Tony Gurria, he's way younger than us. And he
I know,
seems
Tony
like
Gurria,
he's
man.
50.
Tony Gurria's got a portrait of himself.
Or Arn. Every time we see Arn, he's 20 years younger
Well,
than
yeah,
us.
of course. Even like Harley Race, there's matches where he was younger than us. That shouldn't be.
Yep, it's wrong. You're right, it's wrong.
And it was Harley Race from the 80s, not even Harley in the 70s.
Look at that no sell from Lance.
Getting the fuck out of
F out of there, yeah.
Well, Mr. Stiff. A crowbar is what he was known as by certain wrestlers.
Yeah, look at that move. Fuck
That's
that.
rad. Yeah,
that is rad.
Other jealous wrestlers aren't over as the amazing Kevin Von Erich.
You just wish you could wrestle in your ginch.
Good buddy here.
You wish you could be that naked and that awesome.
Oh! Wow!
Oh, wow!
I thought he was setting something up because that was
You
an
have to
unusual.
be so trusting that those ropes are not going to snap.
Yeah.
Oh my God! That was outstanding.
That's crazy.
What are you doing, Kevin?
Boom!
Oh, wow.
Did he
You're
just
not
hit
my
Lance?
real brother. Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't my real cousin. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, yeah, cousins.
Throws him over the top rope.
Lance was supposed to be Waldo Von Erich's
He was
son.
Waldo's son. Although Lance actually looks like a Nazi, so I mean,
Maybe he was.
That was crazy. That was such a unique spot. I've never seen.
that was great.
With the feet, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
This is a lights out match, also, by the way. That's why it's just chaos.
Right.
No
I was
DQ.
expecting some sort of Texas tornado type.
Yeah, essentially the same thing.
And of course, Manning's in there.
Yeah, the fifth Von Erich.
What the fuck am I supposed to do if there's no rules? There's a rib on him.
Yeah. Can I get a different color shirt? Y'all can see my nipples from the cheap seats.
Rapping on Michael Hayes. Yo, Michael Hayes. I'm about
Puerto
to
Rico. Oh, that's
Is
gotta
that it?
be
There
Yeah.
it is.
A
Man,
small
hello,
package
Flair.
in the 80s was almost guaranteed.
There, dude, there's nothing like an out of control Von Erich.
I love the flavors.
Wow. Well,
Von
that
Erich.
kind of
Merry
started slow, but
Christmas,
got
It picked up, yeah. It picked
Yeah.
up, and the Japanese only
That's
matches
interesting.
were
very interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just think back
Good
to
editing.
think back to the early days of this show where we sat through one after another 20-minute Steve Lombardi WWF house show matches.
Of course.
And now like, oh, you started out a little slow, but then it picked up. I had fun. Come on.
yeah.
Oh no, we've seen way worse cards, that's for sure.
Mark Unterberger.
Gary Bloodworth.
The visual's pretty rad.
Well, we're done with 1985 World Class, so we're heading into the dark era now.
Oh, this is gonna be a Christmas tradition.
If we return, yeah. So I think we're back 86 next year.
Well, we've
All
got
right.
Parade of Champions 86 next to watch.
All right. Next up, I thought I'd being that Dan's was gonna be our guest. I figured a great scientific wrestler. Let's watch a
Yes.
great scientific wrestler, Dory Funk Jr. with a guy with the greatest, most ballsy name ever, Race Bannon.
Love
This
that
guy,
name.
this is 1975. This
Yeah.
guy was watching Saturday morning cartoons, watched Johnny Quest, and go, "I'm Race Bannon." This guy thinks he's Race Bannon, Johnny
Okay.
Quest's mom.
Oh, see, yeah, you texted me that, and I thought, oh, okay, because I'm not familiar with that cartoon really.
Oh
It was
no,
before my
No.
am I the
time.
only?
Yeah,
Okay, my
you're the only one. So
hold on. No,
Johnny
they did
Quest's
an
mom
'80s
was race
reboot.
band.
They did an '80s reboot. There has been comic books since
Yeah,
then.
I skipped that, I guess.
Where is this?
This is
Johnny-
Detroit. Yeah, it's
Okay,
Detroit for
Travis,
sure.
did you were you
Johnny
aware of
Quest.
Johnny Quest coming up?
There is a more recent version, like similar to what do you call it? Fuck, what am I thinking of? You know, very similar to
DuckTales?
no, gosh, Venture Brothers. There was a version of it that was similar to Venture Brothers.
Yeah, Venture Brothers is a spoof of Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I must have seen something. I've seen bits and pieces, not enough. I know he had a pet dog, right?
He had a dog named Bandit. He had an adopted brother from India named Haji, who's problematic at best now because he can snake charm and climb a rope that goes up there and all that shit. They had amazing adventures. The greatest theme song in Saturday morning cartoon history. Scuba Men, Adventure, Danger, TNT, and Professor Quest was Johnny's dad, the scientist, and his life partner, Race Bannon, was the badass, guy with silver hair and a red shirt.
Yeah, no. Like I've seen all of that. And I'm
best.
That's what makes me think there was a more modern version of it.
There was one in the 80s.
Yeah.
But this guy looks nothing like Race Bannon. But he has the silver hair.
Darth Vader doesn't look like Darth Vader.
But look at this guy's hair. Look at Race Bannon's hair.
Well,
maybe
enough
just like
about
the
Johnny
name.
Quest. Dan, what are your thoughts on Dory Funk Jr. as a wrestler?
I was gonna say at this point, I don't know if he's underrated. Maybe even. I know he caught a lot of flack from a lot of fans for being quote unquote boring.
Yeah, me included when I was young.
I get that. I'm enjoying what I'm watching here. I mean, this is like. It's kind of like a technical squash, but
yeah, it is what it is.
Him and Terry against Abdullah and the Sheik in All Japan are some of the best tag matches, and they play their roles so well as like the technical baby faces who have to like stand up to the menacing brawlers. I love those matches so much.
Yeah, it was such a great combination, great mix.
I think for me, when I look at it, because we've watched those matches on this show, I think for me, because I was always like, God, I think Dory's boring in singles matches. But it hit me in tag matches with Terry. I love him. My opinion, and I've said it before, I think the best match of WrestleMania 2, which doesn't have a lot of them, isn't Bulldog's Valentine and Beefcake. I think
Funks versus JYD and Tito.
Yeah, Tito and versus the Funks. I think that's clearly the best match of the show.
Yeah.
My favorite match on WrestleMania 2 is Adrian Adonis versus Uncle Elmer. So
match 2.
I was going to say Fabulous
that
Moolah
match.
and Velvet.
And
match.
that's like such a great one-man performance by Adonis.
By Adonis.
But,
True. Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. Maybe 8 years ago, I said, I'm going to watch WrestleMania 2 again. And I watched that and I went, this isn't bad. Adonis is carrying fucking Plowboy Frazier.
He's doing the work for many, many men. But yeah, no. But I like Dory Funk Jr. There's not a ton of like those Dory Jack Briscoe matches. Like, did any of those ever see the light of day? Or
there is one from Florida that's about 45 minutes of a Broadway. That is, I've only seen it once the whole way through. And there's also a match.
We did not get a finish there?
No, he
just tapped to the spinning toe hold. Yeah.
Okay.
And now, Nicole Matthews here was supposed to be on the show, our last show, and couldn't make it. But Max Mitchell had
the idea.
Had the idea, and this is the only time you're ever going to be allowed to book this show. Okay, don't get any fucking ideas. But he had a great idea. He's like, let's show Nicole a Dan match, and then show Dan a Nicole match. And a good idea is still a good idea. And here is Nicole Matthews versus Freddy Krueger, who, if I'm not mistaken,
is the aforementioned Ravenous Randy.
Ravenous Randy Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping it was going to be Doug Gilbert under a mask.
I
was wondering. I didn't think it was.
When I saw the thumbnail, my first initial lizard brain thought was, did Nicole Matthews fight Doug Gilbert? No.
Oh yeah, she was in Memphis in the late '80s.
Yeah. Who knows? Time traveling Nicole.
There's the aforementioned ravishing Rick Rude physique, Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you think?
100%.
He's kind of pasty too.
Incredibly cut. He's got the prairies or Midwest tan going on.
Yes.
That's right. A fellow Calgarian.
Calgary boy.
Fellow Calgarian, yeah.
Okay.
This is from the Rickshaw Theater. I've never seen him. I never went to a show there. I've never seen.
This is where WrestleCore runs a lot of all their shows out of here.
This is a WrestleCore show.
Yeah. Were they called WrestleCore at this time?
They were not called that.
Where is it, Kel?
Well, you remember the tent city we drove by in Vancouver?
Yeah, of course I do.
It's right in the middle of the worst part of Vancouver, almost.
Oh, okay.
Which is a great venue, though. It's awesome.
Well, it's a legendary venue.
Which was 2 blocks from my 4-star hotel in a very nice part of town.
Well, more than 2.
Blew my mind.
2 blocks, but about a 10-minute walk. About a 10-minute walk from a nice part of town to.
Okay, well, it felt like a very short.
It is a very short distance from a very affluent neighborhood to you know what I'm saying? The least affluent neighborhood in the country, basically.
Right.
We have that. No, we have that in Denver, where there's on Colfax, a rough part of Colfax. You go 1 block in, and it's old mansions from the Gilded Age that rich people live in. I'm like, what the fuck?
There's a lot of DIY and like punk venues in that neighborhood. So I've played a lot of shows in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Including there's a space called the Black Lab that's no longer there. That's right across the street from the rickshaw, and it's just an unmarked door basically. And all sorts of random people would just wander in once they heard music starting, and you'd be playing shows to some interesting folks for sure. But
well, I just remember, I can't remember who told me the story, but Ghostface Killah was playing at the rickshaw, and he was like appalled by the neighborhood.
The
rats were, and this is a guy from New York City. It's like, oh
yeah, no, yeah, Maine and Hastings has been singled out by the United Nations, for God's sake. Yeah, we have work to do, but I love Strathcona. You're right, Dan. It's the best.
Well, it's a great neighborhood. I mean, like my favorite coffee shops in that neighborhood.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of amazing old houses in that neighborhood. Nice parks. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just real, man. Yeah, I live in Hastings Sunrise, so I'm still part of one of the last spots to get gentrified in Vancouver. But here we are.
So did Randy work the Freddy Krueger gimmick much, or was this just a one-off?
No, this is WrestleCore. Yeah, WrestleCore does a lot of, well, maybe more at this time.
So they do an annual Halloween show where a lot of the workers will do one-off gimmicks. And actually the following, I saw at the beginning of the video file, I think it said it was October 2018. The following Halloween show they did, Nicole actually wrestled full on dressed up as Pennywise the clown from It against 4 or 5 wrestlers. I think Elliot Tyler, Jackie Lee, a lot of the younger looking wrestlers in the area as the children being terrorized by Pennywise.
That's great.
It's awesome. Wow.
This is Bill Apter at ringside? Jeez.
Nicole.
Looks exactly right. From behind, anyway.
Nicole in full Pennywise gear. That's crazy.
Having never seen the movies before, apparently.
Ha.
They basically just told her he does kind of a funny dance, and that was the prompt she
The
got.
prompt, hilarious.
The prompt for her wrestling Freddy Krueger.
Oh, you missed the story.
No, I
You
missed
took
it.
a powder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The following year, these were a series of Halloween themed shows this promotion does, and the following year she wrestled as Pennywise the Clown in a handicap match against 4 or 5 children.
Well, I love this one started with her yelling "murderer, murderer" as he came down to the ring, but in a taunting heel wrestler way, which was fantastic.
I think she's kind of working as the babyface or as the heel against babyface.
She's the heel.
Freddie as a wrestler is always a baby.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Parm is in the chat.
That.
Our buddy Parm is in the chat.
Hey, Parm!
To mention a match, he was in this match. He was Penny Mass. He was one of
the kids.
One of the kids, yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Amazing. Thanks for coming, Parm. We'll see you. Looks like we're seeing you,
man.
Yeah, back in January.
The first time I ever worked for Defy in Seattle, which first of 2 times, haven't worked there a ton, but was against Randy Myers. And the only reason that video exists of it is because Parm was there with the fan cam in the balcony. So.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's on YouTube.
Look, Bill Apter was there. Bill Apter.
That's what we keep saying. Kelly already said that.
But I
a
take
day
a
late and $1 short.
That's a story of my life, Travis.
Yeah. Who's the ref here, you guys? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I
slice her throat?
think I know who it is.
Who is it?
A local guy named Robert Mitchell, who was
okay. Yeah. Okay, of course. Yeah.
He won with a sleeper, I guess.
He won with a sleep. Well, Freddie,
that makes sense.
Dreams,
in their sleep. Yeah.
Your nightmares or dreams or whatever.
I particularly love gay Freddy. Because that's fantastic.
That's the reboot for 2028.
That's the reboot we need right here.
Isn't it?
You know what?
Nightmare
Starring Ravenous Randy Myers. Look, he's cutting her open.
Nightmare 2 or 3, where the kid is kind of effeminate and kind of gay. Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen this.
Those 2 were the opener for the show that I got to book.
Yeah, I did see that. I was live for that one.
Dude,
and then here we go.
There we go.
And
the long
con continues.
You couldn't have dug up a Killer Khan versus Nicole Matthews match?
It happened.
Travis, do you want to explain the long con?
Oh, no. Well, we did a Killer Khan tribute the week after he had died on this show, and then by chance 2 weeks later he had
on this show.
No, he did on this show. We did a tribute.
Yes, he's our first wrestler death on the show, Dan.
Yeah, mid show. But 2 weeks later, he showed up at another show, and we agreed from this point on, Killer Khan will be in every show.
He's great, honestly.
Yeah. The long con continues.
And
Kelly, what is this?
This is his debut on WWF TV, and you may have seen he's managed by Lou Albano.
Yeah, and they explain that later.
Okay, because I was going to say, of course, he's more known to be managed by Freddie Blassie for the.
Because I know we're going to talk over it. Albano during the promo explains that Freddie Blassie is busy, so he's just filling in tonight. But Freddie Blassie is the actual manager.
I did want to
his good friend.
I want to say before we forget, when we were talking about Dory there, our other guest on the show, Boogie Knight, his first son is named Dory.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You think it's the inner Paul Jones fan in me that when I listed all the wrestlers that have been on this show at DVDVR, I left off Boogie Night? Shit.
I was going to say, early on in the pandemic, I got really into Killer Khan, and that definitely inspired me as a someone in their late 30s who already had bad knees to start doing top rope knee drops.
Better late than never.
Which I did a handful of in the last couple of years, and always got a good reaction. Not a lot of people doing them nowadays. So
no, I've always liked it. It's a great move.
That's the fun thing. Killer Khan is awesome. You know, I mean, he was amazing and a giant man.
He looks so big here against whoever he's working here.
Right.
Who is this?
I think it's Steve, or not Steve Travis, Steve King.
Dominant.
But I'm not 100%
Dominant.
sure. The king of the Zombo.
I like this look over. Hey, here's $1 million right
It's funny that they couldn't wait to have him out here.
And I got to I got to see Khan versus Hogan. Me and Danzo. The night, the evening of the oyster.
The evening of the oyster. Gross. Gross. Please do not relive it. Parm shared the Penny Matthews dance in the chat there. If anybody wants to see it.
Well, I'll check that out later. Look at that look. He just, what is this camera? He doesn't know what
he found the hard cam and he's not letting go of it.
Yeah. He's paying attention to the backstage.
Look at the crowd.
Holy
these fellas, not impressed.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. Interesting choice, Johnny. Oh, one wrestling genius to another.
Wow. Bischoff would hire anybody, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Don't keep my name out your mouth.
I mean, he looked great at this point.
I mean, he's big time on the gas at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But much leaner than he was in the 80s. I don't know. How many matches did he wrestle for WCW? Not too many.
One.
Was it just this? This was the only one.
I think this was it.
Yeah. There was a lot of random one-offs in the Nitro era.
I gave Larry a call. I said, "What are you doing?"
Right. Larry probably had something to do with it. Because Bruno had nothing to do with him.
You bet your ass I didn't know.
Yeah, well, Bruno's here. Okay, I just noticed.
Yeah, I see him.
Have you added anything to him? What is the... What are you
looks
wearing,
like he's in
Bruni?
a sailor. It looks like he's in a sailor outfit.
Does he have an afro or
Popeye?
Yeah, no, this is my 70s look. And my dandelion martini.
Oh yeah, the dandelion martini. Nice touch. Nice touch.
Is that new? Did you
That's
add
how
that?
you survive.
No, this has
looks
been there
great.
since the beginning.
That's a great touch. How have you not pointed that out sooner?
It's a two-play.
Because I've never hit the
road.
hard cam before.
Thought it was a cowboy hat at first.
Gotta follow the Killer Khan school.
Okay, I see it all now. Wow. Bruno, that's like peak 70s Bruno. Afro perm.
Actual hedgepeth pubes.
Just half of them too, amazingly. Ooh!
Malenko is a very good talent.
Oh yeah.
He my no good son look good.
Number one. Speaking of PWA 500s, number one in 1997.
David 500-1.
Probably, yeah, in that same one. Yeah, David probably didn't even place, unfortunately. 501. Just
disappointing.
Bruno was the tie-breaking. Well, I can't let you, in good conscience, rank
not
my
good enough.
son in the top 500.
He was about to fit in at 500.
Look at that.
Wow.
He fucked it up, Nelson.
Just like against Gronk.
Okay,
turn
explain
this
this.
Turn this up.
Is this DeSalvo again?
Yes.
Oh yes, this is DeSalvo. This is Steve Sadistic Steve Strong. This is the Minotaur.
Earthquakes, hurricanes, the universe has no limits. You Carlitos Colon, you are the Antichrist. You are the Prince of Darkness. The resurrection, the path of history must be corrected. You Carlitos Colon, you must also be corrected. As I have said, the universe has no limits, and neither does the beast. You, Carlitos Colon, you are the evil one. You are the dark side. I must cleanse you. I must be your exorcist. The spirits must leave. They must leave Puerto Rico. And the only way you can leave Puerto Rico, Carlitos Colon, is your body will be burned. Burned. Burned in the depths of hell. And we will reign again, Cheeky Star, as the supreme.
Freddie Mercury.
Exactamente, Carlos, con mensaje. Okay, turn this down a little bit, but and then because wow, I am obsessed with sadistic Steve Strong.
Steve DeSalvo. We're like we've had that's 3 weeks. I don't want to. We're not committing to DeSalvo, are we? Yeah, we do. We've got a weird DeSalvo streak.
Oh no, there's not much.
Yeah, it can't possibly go that long.
No.
I mean, there's lots of Stampede footage of it.
Right. Most of it's in Stampede, so you'll love it.
Yeah.
So is this our main event? No.
Oh no, there's just a little bit. It's gonna be nothing but sadistic Steve Strong for the rest of the show. But there's one more. Okay, that promo was bonkers, and so he gets another chance to do another promo after this little bit, and we'll see if he can follow up that bonkers promo.
Oh, Ivan Koloff.
Where is this? Where is he at this
Puerto
point?
Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah. Oh, who is that? Oh,
not sure.
And he's back. Keep yourself alive.
This is before the
Internacional Chiquistar, que no se le olvide algo muy importante, el rey, eso es un detalle muy importante. En cuanto al Invader número 1 y al JYD, vamos a ver qué le puede pasar. So what do you think about these two guys, Invader number 1 and JYD?
That's not
the road to hell is paved. It's paved by the bodies that Luke has strewn to the side. And JYD,
George Lucas,
the man with the hardest head, the man with a million moves.
Really?
And yet he fell Damien. He was crying about
Damien. What he's known for?
I put the seal inside Damien, and I hit him with it. Well, Junkyard Dog, it doesn't matter, because you were lucky. You were not pile-driven. And you, Invader, we have met before, and the road was strewn with your body, too. But the final chapter will be written in Caguas, both you and Junkyard Dog. Cheeky, I don't need to say much more because the surprise will be with the people of Caguas. And Luke will reign supreme.
Exactamente. JYD.
That's
o
interesting.
como te hagas llamar. Y tú también, Invader número 1.
Referring to someone named Luke, just like the Zodiac would in
right.
the Stampede promos with Jason the
Maybe
Terrible.
that's where he picked this up.
He's just stole that. Luke,
he's doing his double Jerry Garcia impression.
Weird, man.
I am obsessed with Strangler.
Steve DeSalvo's. Yeah, like.
There's not a lot, so.
No, I know, man.
He
scared the shit out of us. Yeah. Like, he scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Like, he was.
He's the Minotaur.
Yeah. And here's our main event.
Let's turn this up. Another thing
I wanted to make sure that this, that this promo was part of what we got to see now, because this is from Way the Blade. We've been watching a lot of Way the Blade matches, Daniel.
I don't know what is going on. We have known
him a little bit.
He's a friend of the family. My father and him used to tag up a lot, and there's definitely a misunderstanding going on here.
So it's the Guerrero versus Lothario.
Okay, guys. So Hector and Jose aren't getting along. So Chavo's there going, look, we've always all been friends. I'm just coming up here to see what's going on. They are going to have a match. There you go.
My brother and encourage him, but he has promised me that he's going to do his best to abide by the rules.
Yeah, like keep it a scientific.
Scientific match, yes.
Somos familia. Él me dice que José hizo el primer intento de pegarle, pero nosotros conocemos hace mucho tiempo y quiero presentarle al señor Paul Bash de la parte de la cocina Guerrero, just so that you know there isn't any.
I've been waiting to use this as a main event on this show,
and when I saw it was on here, I knew it was, and I'm like,
here we go.
We have to show.
Here we go.
We have to show the smoking gun.
Here we go.
The hot sauce.
Yes.
This is the family's hot sauce.
This is a brilliant angle.
And
Yeah.
but be very careful because
That
it's
is-
very hot.
Be careful because it's very hot.
Johnny, if you touch it, it'll burn your
thanks.
skin.
Gets out there and does his job. And
Please do
Don't
not
get-
wipe. Do
don't
not
get it in
wipe
your
your
eye.
butt. Do not go to the bathroom anytime soon. If you wipe your anus, it will be pain for several weeks. All right, now turn it down again.
There was a lot of great shit that came out of the brief NWA on demand with all the Houston footage with
Streaming
Bruce
service.
Thorpe. Yeah, and all that before you know, the shithead bought it all and we don't see it anymore. God, look at that. What a badass, stereotypical kind of racist but badass look. God damn.
Crazy.
The bandoleros.
Baron Von Raschy joining us in the chat for the first time.
Hey, Baron.
Nice.
Thanks, pal.
About time, Baron.
Guerrero hot sauce is greater than Freebird hair cream.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to agree.
Is the Baron anyone I know, or is this the real Baron Von Raschy?
Raschy.
Oh, okay.
I think there's somebody new, but I appreciate you joining us, pal.
But I was going to say, one of the many great things about that was it revealed that, hey, even as an old man, Jose Lothario was awesome in the ring. Imagine what he was like, you know, like 20 years earlier.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, I mean, like, he had supposedly a legendary tag.
He's only 38 here, too. It's a Michael Hayes situation.
He probably wasn't that old. I'm gonna check. It's yeah. When he was in WWF in 1996, he was surprisingly young. Actually, I know that. Even though he looked like he was near death at that point.
Dude, I have no memory of it, but I apparently saw a Jim Cornette versus Jose Lothario match at WWE Mind Games. The one with
the Mankind.
The Mankind, I have no memory. I
don't either. I saw that show live on pay-per-view, but
I was in the crowd and I have no memory.
It was, I think, like 3 minutes long. It was pretty short. Let's see. Jose would have been, well, he was 50 at this point. He was born in 1934.
Okay, still
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
So he would have been in his early 60s with the Shawn Michaels run.
Dude,
that's good.
Dude, looking at Chavo here, you can't help but think of Eddie. Look at that. I mean,
oh, totally. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, with this, we watched this for the Jose Lothario tribute we did, and I remember that was a big talking point.
Oh, was it Worldcast?
Yeah, when Lothario passed away, we did a tribute show. Because remember, he was on a lot of the early pro class footage that we watched. And another talking point was that apparently he was a huge fan of the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I see that on his tights. I remember listening to Rollcast, you guys, when he had that out of nowhere crazy great brawl against Bugsy McGraw.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of the highlights
the first
of
good match that we saw.
Yeah, it was the first. Yeah, exactly.
Watching pretty bad wrestling, uninspired wrestling from 1982 World Class. Yeah, it was. It may have even been a brass knuckles title match.
I believe it was.
I believe it was. Yeah, because it was no DQ. It was like an ECW brawl into the crowd and all that. Oh yeah, God, he's the spitting image, or Eddie would be the spitting image of him. It's
right.
crazy.
Yeah,
Baron,
especially because Hector usually, in my memory of him, wore just the trunks. So him with the Dan, you're the professional. What's the professional term for the long tights and the trunks? I call them the Supermans, but or the Batman. The Batman.
I don't. You know what? I don't know. I'm sure there is, but like
Okay.
I think it's yeah, like long
Johns,
tights.
The Long Boys.
You know,
That's what
Long Boys.
CM
Long
Punk called
Boys
them Long Boys.
is Long Boys is a term that gets thrown around for sure.
Okay.
I've never worn them, so yeah, I'm not too
You
familiar with them.
because you got to show the world them legs, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, my big pale quads. Yeah.
Okay, big pale quads.
There you go. A late competitor.
A late
candidate.
There's some funny footage of Jose getting stretchered out on that Survivor Series vid that WWE Vault put up recently.
Wow.
As the Baron.
Well, that would have been post getting hit by the camera by
That's right.
The camera having a heart attack.
Survivor Series 96, yeah.
Yes.
And Parm says the day Makabe wears Long Boys is the day he wrestles our boy D-Bry Danielson.
There you go. Let's make it happen.
Danielson's never worn Long Boys.
That's right. They should be a Long Boy, the Long Boy Invitational.
It's the Long Boy Invitational. Presented by Mystery Titans Theater.
Yeah.
The match you've all been waiting for, the Long Boy Classic, or whatever the fuck.
I already have entirely too many pairs of tights that I'm never going to wear again. I don't need to get another pair.
No, just cut them all up and sew them all together. Into,
perfect.
There you go.
Like the patchwork man. It represents my entire career, man.
My wife could sew it for you.
You are right, Johnny, though, in that the all of this Houston stuff that came out when they had their streaming service is great. And Phil talked about a lot of it in the book. I think there's probably a good 10 or 12 matches in the book that that only became available because of that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, dude. We me and Pete had one of my favorite brief podcasts I've done over years of doing a lot of them was Space City with Pete, where we watched the stuff there, where we got to talk to Bruce Tharp and Kevin Sullivan. Or no, that was
on Titans. That was right when the footage first started.
Yeah, but covering all that was super fun until Smashing Pumpkins guy ruined my fucking podcast. I never liked his music, and then I really didn't like him, and now I really don't like him.
That's funny you mentioned that. In the way the Blade entry for this is, there's another match between these two that Snyder seems to think that Billy Corgan probably has in his garage somewhere.
What was Pumpkin? What'd you? What
William F. Pumpkins.
Yeah, William F. Pumpkins. There you
go.
There's some. I love mayonnaise. There's a lot of.
I mean, Siamese Dream is still really good.
It's so
awesome. And if you edited Melancholy down to a single
like
album,
what we did,
yeah, you got something there. But.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Jose's 50 here. He looks 67, at least. He's moving like a fucking 39-year-old, I'd say. Right? My math is my math right?
It's like I can tell you've got a calculator next to you, just like trying to figure it all out.
Let me see. Here, let me get this.
Well, he was nearing the end of his full-time career, definitely at this point. I don't think he kept going too much longer.
I got a snow cone here. I got an old snow cone. Somebody take the snow cone off my. Somebody turn down a blue raspberry.
$1 snow cone. 75-cent snow cone. 25. Shit.
Just shutting it down. Every time he calls it. It's melting rapidly in Puerto Rico.
This is Houston, but
oh yes. Sorry. Still
similar
hot.
Climate.
Still hot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, here comes the blood. It was accidental. Or no.
Wasn't he clocked him with a chair?
Oh, that's right. Shit.
Right when it was like, hey man, we were trying to have a scientific match up to this point.
That's right.
Well, Hector's been wrestling as a heel the whole match.
And Guerrero now taking advantage of the surprise attack, the quick shift in tactics, is punishing Jose in a...
Hey, Paul Bosch just said it was a quick shift in tactics, and Paul Bosch wouldn't lie to me.
Well,
quick shift in tactics.
Paul Bosch was hardly the world's greatest commentator.
And I take umbrage with that. Paul Bosch is one of my favorite commentators I've ever heard. No one makes me laugh. He's one of the. I don't give a shit. This as much wrestling as I've listening to a guy like Paul Bosch just solo.
That's awesome.
Do his shit.
I love that kind of splash, man.
Yeah,
How many people
great.
do that? What's the name of
Not
that?
many.
What do you call that? Is there a name for that, Dan?
The reverse splash.
Reverse splash.
That's not common. Not common.
No.
Too Cold Scorpio would sometimes do that off the top rope.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Jose steals one.
See, I'm not used to Hector in the Long Boys because the first time I saw Hector was when he, I think it was '86. Was in Crockett, and then they made him Lasertron in Crockett, Dusty made him Lasertron in Crockett.
They, them, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, they, them, Dusty Rhodes.
Preferred.
Also, before Hector was Lasertron, his nickname on TV was the Mexican Jumping Bean.
Not good.
Hector Guerrero, which, because I knew that racist bit of knowledge by watching wrestling, I won a copy of the wrestling album off of U68, the TV show, because in between shows, they were like, if you know the name to this, the answer to this trivia question, call in and you can win the wrestling album. And they go, what is Chavo Guerrero's or Hector Guerrero's nickname? I called in, probably the only person watching, call in and say Mexican Jumping Bean. And 6 weeks later, I got the wrestling album in the mail.
Nice.
All right, here we go.
I took the bandage off.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not friendly anymore.
God, Hector's so good.
Okay, that was a good comment.
Yeah, I love him. I love a bad just announcer who brings an energy all his own, no matter how bad they are.
My main complaint with Bosch is that he just doesn't stop talking the whole match.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Or he doesn't talk for like 10 minutes at a time and then starts talking, which is great.
Yeah, most of the matches I've seen, he just goes on and on and on.
Guerrero, JBL.
Ooh.
Eddie,
Oof,
Eddie
look at this.
Guerrero.
Oof.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Okay, so this is 2 of 3 falls, obviously.
Is it 2 out of 3 or is it a Mexican death? Oh,
it is Mexican death. You're right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Then why was it supposed to be a scientific match?
Yeah, why was it supposed to be a scientific match? Look at
that's
dude,
and that's
Chavo,
something
Chavo.
that Schneider
Chavo
mentions.
has so much cocaine in his pocket.
Yeah,
look at that guy.
Looks like Maradona with a mustache. Yeah, no, Schneider mentions, like, for some reason, they're really scientific off the start. Maybe it's just, like, meant to be respect between families, even though it's a Mexican death match.
Texas death match, probably.
Pardon.
Well, there has been Mexican death matches. Texas death match, the real rules.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just assumed based on my knowledge of white wrestling promoters what they might have called this.
Yeah. Same rules, I guess, if it is a Mexican death match.
Which you don't really know because there's like a million different ones, but
well, they the original Texas,
the 10 count one.
Yeah.
Where it's a last man standing.
Well, it's the 10 count after a 30-second period.
Yeah.
Though.
Yes, it's several 10 counts. Yeah.
After
That's
a pin.
that's the actual Mexican death. I'm sorry, Texas death match.
Exactly what Schneider said is unusual for a Mexican death match. Assuredly, thanks to
there we go.
To Chavo's mediation. The first part of the match was worked scientifically, with both guys exchanging holds and arm drags and fist bumps.
Oh. The convulsing.
Yeah.
Again, I mentioned before I was at a Pro Wrestling USA show that had a true Mexican Texas death match with the 10 counts between Zabisco and Bockwinkel that I remember thinking was boring as hell, and I'm pretty sure the crowd was dead for it and shitting on. I'd love to see it and see if I was wrong. I'm sure I was. I was 15.
In theory, it sounds like it should be great.
Yeah.
A lot of cops or like
you bet your ass there. You know why?
Holy
Because
cow.
a young Pete Schermacher is in the crowd right now. We gotta keep this fucking kid away from
He
him.
was already 20 beers in.
I was just gonna say
4 years
it's
old.
a slow
4 years
it's
old.
a
and
slow
20 beers
weekend. A slow weekend. Usually it's
He would have been about
35.
10. I think he was about 10 or no, maybe 12 at this point. So yeah, he's
Okay,
probably
so-
he was
so
hitting the
20
Miller
20
Lights.
beers.
Miller Lights
20 beers.
pretty good by this point.
They're Bud Lights, so relax. Relax, narc.
Just a porch beer.
This is stretched. I want to see if there's a way I can make it a little proper ratio. Because the ring looks massive, right?
Yeah, that's the way it's shut.
Well, I mean, the Houston ring I think was pretty big, wasn't it?
Yeah, but this is also stretched, I think, a little bit. This wasn't shot in CinemaScope.
Oh wow! Oh, this is
like a hot match. This is when Houston was aligned with Watts.
Yeah.
For most of their talent. Yeah.
Yeah. The Guerreros and the I think the Fabs had a great feud. Oh, no, maybe that might have been Florida. That might have been Florida.
The shoulders
very
up.
fast counts.
Or was that? Oh no, that was on Jose.
What's the score?
It's not. There's no score. It's just if you don't make the 10 count, you're done.
Yeah, you get pinned. You have a count of 10 to get your feet.
Yeah, it's not an Iron Man match.
Got it.
Last man standing is essentially the closest comparison.
Mm-hmm. But with the added wrinkle of a pin before they can start. Interesting.
Yeah, it has to be a pin. I guess a submission too works, or I'm not sure. Yeah, I forgot how crazy this match was.
His punches are just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that first fall that he won, his entire comeback was just punches.
Just
basically.
punches, yeah. Super sock. No. That was
nice.
Double punch. Hilarious.
Yeah.
And now we start the 10 count. Hilarious.
Yeah. Now we get the Rocky 2 spot.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, Sean Emily, thanks for subscribing for 22 months. You're the best, buddy.
Hey, Sean, how you doing, man?
We missed you all show.
Our biggest fan.
Yeah. Sucks. We're finally starting to get some good numbers here on the way out.
Oh, you know what?
The Makabe draws. The Makabe
day late,
draws
a dollar short, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Good thing. Good thing that this show's gonna be on YouTube. In just a week or two. Along with the 4.5 years worth of shows. Be sure to hey, go to our YouTube channel, smash that like button.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys say.
Got a nice little boost in subscribers recently.
I was thinking recently we should do something big for the 5-year anniversary. That's coming up soon.
I got it.
April.
All naked. No,
all naked.
All naked.
And apartment wrestling. I guess there's no footage of apartment wrestling.
I mean, there's probably some footage you could buy.
Yeah. Oh no.
Just dig up the back pages of an old 80s wrestling mag.
Who's got Jason Rance's number?
Oh God. There was a promotion in Japan in the early 2000s. I can't remember what they were called, that ran a naked barbed wire bat match. I remember seeing photos on DVD VR back in the day.
Wow. In Japan, man.
This crowd is nuts for this.
Oh yeah. You think Pete's the only drunk 12-year-old in that crowd?
Oh no, the hot sauce!
Oh, they hit him with the hot sauce.
Yeah, hot sauce to the face.
Hot sauce in the eyes.
Crazy.
It's death.
It's hard to see.
And he was already bloody, so it's in his eyes and it's in the cut.
And getting into the cut.
Dude, you know what? Give me some chips. I'll dip right into that blood. Yum, nom, 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 nom. Nom, 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 nom.
At my version of the Wrestling Hall of Fame, I would serve that in the cafeteria.
We call that the Jose Lothario.
There was a stretch in the early 2000s when Big Japan was doing death matches that would just be like maybe some barbed wire or whatever, but then just things that would be unpleasant to get in your cuts. So they had like a bucket of salt, a bucket of lemons, a bucket of mustard, and they were not
that sounds like
conventionally like good matches to watch, but they were those kind of like that probably wasn't fun to be a part of.
That's like the evolution of the concession stand brawl. Right?
Yeah, I'm saying not conventionally good matches to watch. Where are they on YouTube? Because that
sounds ideal
criteria to be on this show.
I mean, I definitely have a John Zandig versus Tomoaki Honma match on VHS somewhere that involves Honma getting dumped with mustard. So,
oh wow,
not the spicy mustard.
It's Dijon.
Oh, is it? Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? Right here, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's on your head with all your cuts, motherfucker.
Hot sauce? Me? What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know anything about hot sauce. Dude, you got a promo. You mentioned it earlier in the promo.
Finally, the cowboy.
Purple Ginch.
The purple cowboy's coming on the way.
Is that Bill Dundee?
Is that DB? Is that That's not DiBiase, is it?
I think is it Dundee and the
Pretty sure it's Steve DeSalvo.
Oh, he's everywhere. Oh, based on the boots. That's some Native American.
Is it Mark Youngblood again?
It might be
posing
Mark. No, not. Maybe. Who knows?
Chief J. Strombo.
Chief J. Strombo Jr. Shit.
There's Grizzly Smith.
There's Grizzly Smith.
Crazy.
Great human being. Look at this sexy man. Here we go. Turn this up.
A Super Bowl ring.
Turn this up. This is great.
There's something like that ring is out of control. Got it from the Pope.
ought to be ashamed of himself if he sent me that for you to use. Don't start telling me. You're not my father, first of all.
Awesome.
I know that. Not here. And nobody
No, I'm
makes
Gino
fun
Hernandez's
out of my brother, especially when I'm there. First of all,
That was a no disqualification.
I don't care, Mr. Bosch. I was there. He's
Paul Bosch.
thicker than water anytime. Now, he told me that Jose started blood first. I
Collar.
didn't believe it, and I saw it with my own eyes.
The Count
I don't know what
Chocula.
you're talking about. Hot sauce, anything.
Count Chocula about to hit the Regal
I know
Beagle.
what hot sauce is. It's delicious.
The man won, and that's what matters. That's all I care.
Yeah, the 70s haven't
and he's
ended
got
for
another-
Paul
he's
Bosch.
got another
They're just
thing
beginning, I
against him.
think.
He's a half-breed. We don't allow
Half-breed. Ooh,
half-breed.
nasty.
Yep.
race. We are the pure race. We are Mexicans.
Yeah, this gets racial.
If he's got
Yeah.
all to say that he is from San Antonio, we is from Mexico, and all these Mexicans out here, if they don't like that stuff, because we are Mexicans from Mexico, and there's one thing we got, we can talk perfect English y podemos hablar español perfecto. Y al que no le guste, escojan un lado o el otro. O se viene con nosotros, o se quedan con él, pero nosotros somos los verdaderos. Y si no les gusta, pues muy mal, y vamos a seguir siendo los guerreros. We are awesome in singles, and in tag team we are better.
Too much. I'm telling you, I'm taking you off the card on the 22nd.
Wow. So is Bosch is the booker at the.
Oh
he's
yeah,
the
yeah.
promoter.
He's the owner and the
He's the
promoter.
promoter. Owner and promoter.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
Cool.
And he almost never ever gets involved unless he's pushed this far.
Wow. Awesome.
He's disgusted by what happened.
Awesome.
Classic.
All right.
And
this was my request to sign things out here for our Christmas show. Thank you for joining us, Daniel. I really appreciate it.
thank you, Dan.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for having me. Glad to finally find the time to do it, and would love to come back again in the future. This was a lot of fun.
Oh,
sure.
man,
Thanks, man.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you had a good time. And Dan, again, and once again, it was great to talk to you again. And I just wanted to say again in public on the show how much fun it was to get to talk to you at Dean after the show, because in the last few years of my life, there have only been 2 instances where a big sweaty hug from another man didn't gross me out. One, my best friend Rob at the Dead & Company shows in Boulder, and 2, after the show at Dean with you, man. So it was great talking to you again, brother.
I appreciate that, and you definitely came up to me and started like introducing yourself and having to explain who you were, as if you don't have the most recognizable voice ever.
I know, which as I walked in and was like getting my ticket, I was like, hey, and I'm like, hey, Johnny Sorrow, Phil and Eric were just like, hey, Johnny. Yeah, that's exactly when I went up to Dan. Who, by the way, I already knew you didn't have your glasses on or whatever. And I leaned in, and you were, there's a bunch of people around you, and I kind of lean in, and I'm like, hey, I don't know, remember, but we. I was about to say, but we did a podcast. I'm like, hey, I don't know if her, but you. And you're like, Johnny Sorrow.
Yeah. Awesome.
Then we bullshitted for about a good 2 minutes until you got pulled away.
Yeah, and Dan, I hope to see you again soon. I'm sure we will. And to everybody who's been watching, wish you all the happiest of holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
And to, as always, follow us on the Patreon and all these other fun things.
We got some Patreon. I just found something to throw on that I sent you, Travis.
Yeah. And anything, if Kevin, you want to bring a little something as well, we'll send the invite out there soon. Thanks, everybody.
And happy holidays to you, Kelly, and you, Travis, my 2 besties.
You
and
too.
happy holidays to you, Dan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Same goes to you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
And those of you who don't subscribe to the Patreon, go fuck yourselves.